You're tuned in to Tusks and Tails, the podcast that brings you the grit, the dogs, and the chase. Today's episode is powered by our sponsors, hardcorehogdogs.com. Premium gear built for the hunt. Use code Tusks and Tails with Mr. Michael Spieler. Next up is Boars and Broads. Lifestyle and apparel for those who live the hunt. Save with code TNT at checkout. To Be Hog Dogs, two brothers, one passion. Family, tradition, and hog dogs. A&M Kennels, a husband and wife team turning their passion into a legacy. This is Tusks and Tails. Let's get started. Hello, y'all. Welcome to Tusks and Tails. Hey, this week, actually, this is going to be Thursday. We got a group of guys that I learned a lot from. When I first got into this, I listened to these gentlemen, and man, I still listen to them to this day. I'm not going to sit here and make this a long intro. I can't appreciate them more than what they've already done, especially for the hog hunting community and getting knowledge out there. I know what it's like to run a podcast. You get a lot of hate from it and a lot of, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. So I could just imagine what these gentlemen have been through. But with that being said, I am going to let them go ahead and introduce themselves. And I highly doubt nobody doesn't know them. But if they don't know y'all, can you please mention y'all's names? And Mr. Joey, tell them what dogs you run. And Nate, tell them what dogs you run.
All right, I'm Joey with Dixie Doggers. And if you don't know me, and I don't know where you're at, you should know me. That sounded conceited as hell. I got the noise from Pat Lou. Yeah, fellas, yeah. All right, now hey, we're glad to be on here. Nate,
I'm Nathan Wright with Dixie Doggers. I'm his son, one of his sons. He's got a couple.
Yeah. Nate's the backbone of everything. As far as dogs, I have run them all, every form and fashion. And I still try to run as many dogs as I can, many different types and styles of dogs as I can. But I have really, in the past couple of years, leaning more toward the long-range, loose bay dogs, long-casting dogs. I like them to just sit there and just whisper in their ear till I get there, And but in my heart still lies in the hard-ass run and catch dogs, though. I'm never going to leave that. But that's a lot of work, and you got to get there fast, and I'm slowing down, What about Nate? Tell them what you like.
There's a lot of beauty in the bay, but there is art in the war. So I appreciate both aspects of it. It takes a good dog to do either one well, but very different dogs on both ends. So, I don't think Dad or I want to really set on a specific breed. We appreciate most of all of them, and more just comes down to the individual at hand.
It's kind of one of those things where I was always told to take care of the dog in front of you and treat that dog the way that particular dog needs to be treated, whether it's by hunting, the way the dog needs to be hunted, the way the dog needs to be handled, the way the dog needs to be fed, the way the dog needs to be exercised, because all of them are different.
Yes, sir.
You can take 5 plot hounds, 5 walker dogs, and all 10 of them are going to be a little different. And so it's one of those deals. We just kind of whatever works best for us.
Yeah, well, with that being said, Mr. Joey, we can jump right into that. The difference in them. We've talked to a lot of people on our side of the podcast, same with y'all's, and sometimes I have targeted people with a specific line, and had them, relay answers and whatnot. Now, you've had a huge diversity of different lines. Can you kind of go over for newcomers? And this might be a little long topic, but that's fine. But anybody coming in new, I know they're all going to be different, like you mentioned, but more of a stubborn line. Which ones are going to be your more stubborn? Which ones you think are going to take on a little sooner? Can you kind of cover that a little bit for everybody?
Are you wanting a specific breed, or are you wanting just dogs in general?
Yes. Can you please go based off of the breeds? Just so if someone's brand new and they're like, you could say, oh, this line, but they might not know who to get a hold of for that line. So we'll just do breed for reference.
All right, we'll do a few different breeds then that are popular in the hog dog world. I'm fairly new to the running walkers, so I'll start with those. I say fairly new. I have quite a few years in it, but I like the ones that I'm running. But also, I like anything out of John Blanton's stock. Okay, that's really good stuff. Lake Hills tends to really produce very well in that. They tend to just pick it up and go. And anything William Lewis and them are producing, put game in front of it, and it's going to run it.
Yeah.
It's going to take care of business. I think they're easy starters. They handle good. They hunt good. They get it done. Like plot hounds, Mike Cawley.
Oh, let me stop you real quick, Mr. Joey. Back to the walkers real quick. Can you kind of mention, what? Sorry, I really wanted you to cover this part because I know you've dealt with a lot of different lines. Okay, is that going to be a further casting dog? Which I know this answer, but is it going to be? Can you explain if it's going to be a further range dog? Is it going to be a closer dog? Can you kind of cover that as well with each line?
Okay, so here's where I'm not an expert. I'm just somebody who runs dogs. Been messing with dogs a long time, but I hunt in a lot of different places. What I was saying a while ago about the dog in front of you, man, I have had the same dog in 5 different states hunt 5 different ways and cast 5. It's crazy. It's also depending on the property. So if you're a new hog hunter and you are say you're in middle Georgia and there's a lot of hogs there on the property that you can hunt, are you going to need a long-range, hard-casting, houndy type dog? Probably not. I mean, you can probably get it done just walk hunting with some cur dogs or some rough stock, Think about where you're hunting, how big your properties are. Take all those things into consideration before you jump into buying the dogs or getting the dogs from someone. Because, like, you take some of the dogs like I've got now, and not just mine, but like several other guys that I know, man, they wouldn't be worth the damn on a 1,000-acre property because they're going to be gone. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to be gone. Also, if you're, I want to be as respectful as I can to everyone. And I'm not trying to say like weekend warrior. I'm not trying to do all that because we all hunt.
Yeah.
We're all hog hunters, but some of us are like we do ours on the business side of things as well as in just the enjoyment. But if you're just going out to go catch a few hogs and tie them up, or just to have a good time, do you need 20 head of dogs? Probably not. You just might need just a small pack and get it done. Are you going to be in an area where you can walk a catch dog in, or are you going to be somewhere where you can have 2 good bay dogs walk in, shoot the hog, or are you going to be tying the hog? Are you going to be selling these hogs? Are you going to be in Louisiana or Florida where you have a market for them? All those things come into consideration now that I look back at over all these years. Because when it was first just about catching hogs, we were just catching whatever we could, and then there was a time here in Alabama where I could tie them up, bring them home, and do all that, so I didn't want the hogs all tore up. So I had specific dogs for specific reasons, and I also had them for specific areas. But going with each breed, it's like the dog, like the Walker dog I have now. He's out of a dog named KP, which Mr. Blanton owned. William Lewis and them have him right now, and they're making puppies with him as they go, with his daddy. I'll have him up available for stud if he ever turns out to be a hog dog. But when you have these dogs, the ones that like I've got, when you turn them loose, you better be. I mean, if you're in a lot of hogs, he's probably not going to have to go very far to get a track started.
Yeah.
All right. How are the hogs though? Are they going to run? Because he might have to run them for 10 miles.
Yeah.
And so that turns into, hey, this went from a 200-yard trail and track to get him jumped to now it's a 3-hour race. So I take that into consideration. When somebody talks about casting, are you talking, are you looking for a cast dog that's going to go a mile deep in zero sign, or a cast dog that's going to go however far he needs to go to find the track?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the dogs I'm having, they're going to go however far they need to go to find a track. I haven't seen an end to where he'll go as far as that is. I've had some dogs out of I was trying to think. I had a couple of plot hounds years ago, and they didn't cast real far, but they were hard. Oh my God, they had a lot of bottom. They would just stick a track as hard as they could stick it. They wouldn't want to come off of it. You had to go get them or go get the hog, whatever happened first. And then some of those went back to some of Mr. Colley's stuff on those plots. And I like those. You could hunt them out of a boat. You could let them rig, a wind, whatever you want to call it. You could put them over, like if you went to feeders or bait sites, you could drop them out on good sign like that. And if there wasn't nothing there, they would get out, 600-800 yards to half a mile or so and hunt in big circles and come back, and then you could reset them and go again. And I like those dogs for the most part. Those seem like a very, very universal dog you could take to about anywhere and produce hogs.
Yeah.
And that's on the hound side of it. Other than that, I haven't ran.
No blue ticks or any red ticks?
I've got a few blue ticks that we've ran, but they're grade dogs. They actually, the first two that we got, the guy had papers on them, and I didn't need any papers.
Yeah.
I was like, I wouldn't worry about it. This has been 15 years ago or better.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not worried about papers, and I really don't even know what they were out of, but they were really good dogs. They didn't cast deep in no sign, but we always put them in sign.
Yeah.
That was the determining factor on a lot of our stuff, and it still is on how far they're going to go.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Okay, so we covered the hound side. Now, can you get it? I don't know. I know you have experience, like a very astronomical amount of experience in the. I don't want to pronounce it wrong and disrespect you, but
the terriers,
the Yog terriers, yes, sir. But I mean, we don't have to cover that right now. If you want to cover the cur dogs or whatever else you're wanting to cover, feel free. Just take it from there.
It won't take me just a few minutes. I don't really talk much anyway. It's just like a godsend, buddy. No, on the German Hunt Terrier is pronounced Yak Terrier, but everybody calls them Jags here in the U.S. No big deal. We had some that were really, really, really good. Me and Nate had that discussion about 2 hours ago. Best dogs, the absolute best dog I've ever seen. There's two of them, and both of them were Yog Terriers. You got to know how to hunt them. There's a lot of people that wanted them because they were just really hard, crazy little dogs, little pocket rockets. We never did hunt one dog in a pack. We didn't hunt one jag with 5 cur dogs. We would hunt 4 or 5 jags together.
Okay.
And then we hit these cutovers, all the real thick stuff. They get in there. It's kind of like beagles, They can get in there and get them jumped. And they're so small. A lot of ours were, 30 pounds was a big dog for those terriers. Well, we kept breeding the biggest to the biggest over a period of years. Scott Alls is the one that started it. Then it went to Clay Alston, and Clay's the one that got me started. And I've continued it on this whole time. And it's a line of the Yog Terriers called the Dixieland line. And they tend to be a little bigger and a little leaner. They don't go in the holes like most of the small dogs do. They're more, I guess you would say, more like a big game style. We have some right now that I got one in North Carolina that's running bear and hog. He does a really good job on it. We've got a couple in Arkansas right now that I put out there to Braxton. Braxton catching hogs with him all the time. And, we working on the High Terrier project, the German High Terrier project, and we're doing an Americanized version that we've done over the years. We still work with the terriers a good bit, but they have their place, and you have to know how to hunt them. It's not necessarily the fact that you're going to get them hurt or killed. You're going to cause yourself a headache.
Yeah.
Because you'll have good cur dogs or hounds in there baying a hog, man, and no problems, and then this little bastard's going to come in there and hit him wide open and just break it.
Yeah.
And cause nothing but problems. But there's several good lines out there. Most of them all of them started out imported and were brought to the U.S. I like anything like that. Jason Bickford had some stuff, and Jason's in the plot world as well. He had a lot of the dog terrier stuff, and that was all Waka Mule and Max Steelblood, and then James Mills. Anything out of the Cumberland pack is going to perform, hands down.
I like a lot of the JoJo dogs and a lot of the aluminum dogs.
They're smaller. That's Jay Wallop stuff is the aluminum, and then you have Antonio Perez, all the Von Marchegger dogs. They work. They work. I promise you, like that Bruno dog, I've seen him hammer over and over and over again. He works really good. And then we go from there into the cur dogs. So I got into, I've had cur dogs for years, decades now, but I never was like sold. Like, yeah, I gotta have this. I never was sold. There wasn't enough consistency, if that makes sense.
No, it does.
They were consistently inconsistent. It didn't matter what I did, man. And I'm not going to get out here and I'm not bad-mouthing anybody. It is the truth. I had several Ladner dogs, blackmouth curs, and one of them would just be great as a hog dog, but then all of a sudden at 2 years old, it would start barking on track like you ain't never seen in your life. Yeah. And I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. And then I've had them where they were dead silent, and I went out there and the dog's just standing there and wouldn't even bay, but it found the hog and just be looking at it. And then of course you got the rougher side of them.
Well, you didn't run into to treeing issues at all?
No.
Really?
Not any.
On the we're talking Ladner side, right?
Never, not one time. I didn't give them enough time.
Oh, I got you.
If that makes sense. And I went through several of them really quick.
Yeah.
I was also a younger hunter then, and I had I had been working with the game dogs. I'm a generational bulldogger, and so once I got into that, I went from that to the terriers and all the run and catch dogs.
It's a learning curve.
Yeah, and they all started, like, by the time they were 6 to 8 months old, like, they were doing their thing. And these cur dogs at 8 months old, some of them were looking at you like, like they're playing. I'm like, what is wrong? And so, but at the same time, I had to grow up, and I had to be taught, and I had to learn from these dogs. I made a lot of mistakes.
Can you cover that really quick? All right, Mr. Joey, I've listened to y'all a lot. You and your son, Mr. Nate. Man, I've learned a lot from y'all. But one of your biggest statements I've heard you state a lot is you used to cull way too soon.
Yeah.
100%. And you learned to kind of be a little more patient. I'm not asking you to sit here and say, oh, you need to be more patient. But if you
need to be more patient, I'm going to tell you, you got to be more patient.
I love that it comes from you saying that you used to cull way too soon.
Oh, I did. God almighty.
Well, if you want to have a dog for 10 years, you can't wait 2.
Yeah, exactly. It's a commitment. It's okay. Are you worried about getting a picture? That's the part of where I've been expressing the past, I don't know, probably 10 years now, but since we've been doing this, the past few years to where I've come out to the public as far as in the dog world, more open. Used to, I was very secluded. I wouldn't let people have dogs. I'm still really picky on that to an extent, but I want other people to enjoy them. So as far as getting a really young puppy from me, probably not going to happen. But you might get a good 6 or 8 month old that is already trying to do something. you might get that, and then I'm going to be like, okay, I don't want you to mess with this dog, except let it be a puppy for another 6 months, and then you start messing with it at a year old or older. And I've got dogs out there, man. We got, like I said, we went over, got in these cur dogs, and I found what I like finally, and so we have a combination of Kimmer curs, Catahoulas, and blackmouth curs.
So Kimmers, to be clear, I have not covered that with anybody. They're out of Missouri, if I remember right. Or am I wrong?
There's some breeders out. Mr. Kimmer, Mr. Robert Kimmer, originally from Tennessee.
Okay.
He's the one that created that line of dogs. And I'll probably catch a bunch of shit over that because there's a lot of people that like, the Kimmer dog is a certain breed.
Yeah.
It's yes and no. It's a mountain cur, but they're bred to be a specific color and trait. It's more of a really heavy line of dogs that is being formulated to turn into a breed.
I hope I'm talking about the right one. Their tails come out naturally docked, or
not all of
or
them.
bobbed.
Some of them come out. Some of them will.
Okay.
And so they have the OMCBA, the Original Mountain Cur Breeders Association, and then you have the KSBA, the Kimmer Stock Breeders Association.
Okay.
Seems like those guys, they're always back and forth at it. You can dual register these dogs.
Okay.
A lot of them. But they have guidelines and rules on the registries and stuff. Nate had a Kimmer dog named Louie. His mama was a brindle dog, and his daddy was a yellow dog.
Okay.
And Louie was very, very pale, almost. He was a buttermilk.
Okay.
Which you can't call them white. They have to be buttermilk.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that being said, all Louie's siblings, one of them was yellow, and all the rest were brindle. But now all those brindle dogs, they wouldn't be involved. You're not going to see them at the Kimmer hunts because they're brindle.
Yeah.
I don't. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's just they came out of the same mama and daddy. But this yellow dog can be a Kimmer, and these brindle ones, now you can register. You can
be dual registered.
You can be dual registered.
At the last Kimmer hunt we went to here in Alabama, they had one, a black with a white trim.
Yeah, that's the only ones you're ever going to see, and everybody's like, oh, that's a black Kimmer. Dude, that's just a black mountain cur to me. And I'm right. Hey, I guarantee you, I am fixing to catch hell.
In my mind, that's
all it is. It's those recessive genes coming out. Just look at Molly. Molly's black, white trim. OMCBA dogs. It's one of those deals.
So when y'all, I got to clarify real quick because now I'm intrigued. This is mainly for me. Yeah, I know. Gosh damn it, we're supposed to say on what it don't really happen that way. I mean, I get it, but when you're saying black with white trim, are we talking like? Okay, give a reference to me. My plot hounds are jet black with brindle trim.
Yes.
Same thing.
Less trim, probably.
Yeah, well, you're going to have all white. Yeah,
white on the feet, white blaze on the chest, maybe something on the nose with the muzzle.
So some good looking. It sounds like some really good looking stock.
Oh, really? I'll send you some pictures of some of the dogs.
Yeah,
over
for sure.
It was a male, and he was about 65 pounds, and I was drooling.
Yeah, that something's is nice.
Oh man, he's super good.
Mr. Gene, they had that black puppy and that. I hit him as soon as he posted it. He was like, "It's already spoke for." I was like, "Damn." Because all I'm going to do is go back to the mountain curs. I mean,
most people stick with the yellows and the buttermilks, and I don't know, the breeding out all the other color. And I was like, I like the color wheel.
That's being kennel blind.
Well, the color was the Kimmer was specific.
Yeah.
For the color, for hog hunting. That's what it was bred. It was bred so you could see it running through the woods.
I didn't know that.
It for a hog.
I did not know that.
And those dogs should be so versatile that you can find snakes with them. You can bird hunt with them. You can coon hunt with them. Blood track with them. Anything. I mean, whatever. Those dogs, that's what they should be able to do.
Yeah. Huh.
That's what they're purposely bred for. So when we found the cur dogs that we liked, like I said, the Kimmers, and we'd already had the mountain curs and Kimmers. I've had them for years, but we never bred them for that. They were squirrel dogs.
Yeah.
Tree dogs, or squirrel and coon. And so we wound up having those, The blackmouth curs that I really like, the rough ones, came from Russell Holiday out of North Texas or South Oklahoma, in that area, around Weatherford, Texas. And then the Catahoulas, I had a couple from Miss Joyce Shaw. And then Nate got one from Gene Reynolds.
Hey, Gene Reynolds lives right down the road from me.
Really?
Yeah, probably less than 5 minutes.
Well, M&M came out of Matador Mercy. And I'm telling you right now, those pups. So we bred the Catahoulas to the blackmouth curs, which is a traditional breeding. It happens all the time. Well, the Catahoulas that I wound up with, they got just a little touch of the outlaw cur in there, which is a Catahoula dog-based dog with a little bird dog, a little hound or whatever. And you know,
yeah, just some crossed up
cur deal.
Yeah,
a little everything.
Yeah.
When I'm telling you, it put the bay into them, because they're the male that I have, he's a competition bay dog, but I hunt him in the woods too. So we crossed into a really, really rough yellow dog. When I say these dogs were rough, when we turned them loose in a palmetto patch, they just attacked the palmettos.
They fight each other first.
Yeah, they fight each other for a few minutes, then whoop the palmettos, and then find some game, and they're gonna catch it.
You're probably talking about them old yellow dogs with them block ass heads, huh?
Oh, they look like bulldogs.
Yeah.
The male's name is Jughead.
Yeah.
Okay.
The male we got his name is Jughead. Yeah.
God damn. I like it.
But they went. So we got away from most of the rough stuff, right? I still have Jughead, but I let the couple of females, I let Mr. John Bird take them. He walk hunts. And John's early 50s, around 50 years old. And he's got some good flat country down in the river bottoms. And most anything that he's going to catch, or that they're going to catch, is going to be something that they know they can handle. And if they're baying it, he's going to walk in and shoot. You know, so it worked out really good for him, and we hunt with him all the time. And so, but anyway, when we made that cross, kind of took a gamble on it. I was like, but I just really felt like it was going to work. Those dogs, they bay. I mean, they bay. And so the trick that I'm learning is to never let these cur dogs know that they're cur dogs. So I put them with my Rick dog, that Walker dog.
Oh, yeah. Keep them casting wise, yeah.
Yes, sir. So
ranging
as far
out
as they
some
know, these 1-year-old, I got a blackmouth cur that's 14 months old from Rusty Bayshore, and he's probably put 150 miles on in just a few hunts.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, for real, like, this dude will roll. I mean, roll. He'll take every step. And there's a lot of times he's not even with that Walker dog. He might be somewhere else by himself, but he's 1.5 miles, 2 miles deep. And not just that, he's staying in the race.
Yeah.
He's not. A lot of people I've talked to, the reason they got away from cur dogs is because they're like, man, after an hour or two, they just, they come back.
Mm-hmm.
And you already know there's guys out there that have cur dogs that can run all day. I already know this. But the majority, as a breed, as a whole, is what I'm talking about.
Yep.
They don't cast that as far as a hound type. But a lot of those guys don't want a dog that barks on track. Well, so you gotta give to get a lot of times, because finding a dead silent hound that's going to cast long range and is going to run double-digit speed for hours on end, man, that's you're finding a jewel, And so we put them cur dog pups with them. First what I wanted to do was breed a cur dog that looked like a hound. And that's what we've done now. But also, I can't take credit saying, "Oh, this is my dogs," because I use somebody else's dogs to get this. Now, once these have been completely proven out, and maybe I'll breed them another time or two. Yeah, that'll be my own line there that I'm going to continue with, and I've got full faith in them. They're doing really, really good, and we've sent some. I sent a couple to Florida. They're a year old. As a matter of fact, they're a year old right now. And they're finding their own hogs, and they have been for several months. Which to me, I'm just now starting to even take mine. Because I have more patience than a lot of people. I want them to be mentally mature so that way when they get out, how many times has you listeners out there, you guys that have been hunting for a long time, how many times have you carried a 6-month-old puppy and he takes off running with the lead dog? Well, the lead dog runs off and leaves him, and he's a half a mile out there lost in the bottom, out there just howling. Well, these don't, because they backtrack their way all the way back from 1.5 to 2 miles on their first time you take them. Because they're old enough to know, shit, I got to go back home. I'm going to follow my trail.
Yeah, I mean, so that's already happened to me, too.
Puppy.
As in, yeah, I had a male dog that, it wasn't over a mile or half a mile. I mean, it wasn't that deep, but I was lucky it came back. And I mean, you already know what breed I'm talking about. But yeah, I heard him. He got out there and he just stopped. The other dogs took off still hunting, and he was just like, you can tell the difference. I call it a booger bark. But I mean,
how old was he?
9 months.
Yeah, so but that's what I'm saying. You know, it's just like a kid. If we're all out there and you take a 10-year-old or 8-year-old, 8 or 10-year-old kid, and he goes with a bunch of 18-year-olds, and they're all out coon hunting, and those 18-year-olds, they're not paying attention. They walk off and leave that kid. What's going to happen? He's either going to start hollering, "Hey, you're leaving me behind," or he's going to start crying. It's the same thing. So would you put an 8-year-old kid out there to do something? Because everybody knows like the dog years compared to human years and things like that. Just think about it. A dog that's a year old, how old is that in human years? You know, they say 7 years or so, right?
Yeah, 7 to 1 or whatever, however they put it. Yeah,
exactly. So, were you really mature for 7 years old? I don't care who you are. At 7 years old, you're just not that mature, no matter what.
No.
So when you get 2 years old, 2.5 years old, so you're 8, the 18-year-old, 14 to 16, 18-year-old guy, now you're able to get out there. That's why a lot of people, when they have a dog that does turn on early, when they hit that 2-year-old, they're really in their stride. Well, at the same time, if you'd have just let that dog be a dog or be a pup, I'm not saying don't take them, but just if it doesn't do what you want it to do or what you think it ought to be doing, look at it from that dog's perspective. Think about that dog being out there. Like, if this dog is lost, do you think that he can really run the same track as your 6-year-old dog? Take that into consideration and don't cull too soon, because I know for a fact I've soft culled before and sent dogs to other people, and then the next year those dogs are doing phenomenal. And I was like, damn, man, I wish I had that dog back. Well, I should have just let the dog be a pup and kept it. So now I try not to cull real early. The only thing I'm really hard on like that is dogs that are really hard keepers, that don't want to gain weight. They have something in their mind that makes them want to run nonstop on a chain or in a kennel. Those are just a couple of things that I don't like. Now, if they're running a chain all the time, you turn them loose and they take off and they're gone, that's fine. But most of them that tend to run a chain in a circle, when you turn them loose, they don't want to go nowhere. Well, I'm not dealing with that.
Yeah.
So that's just a couple of the reasons that, as far as the culling, and then on like catch dogs, I have a lot of patience. I will give them time, but they have to show me the interest right off the bat.
Yeah.
If I have one that's not interested at 12 weeks old, 12 weeks, and I know this sounds so contradictory. It sounds so contradictory. I don't mean like I'm going to send a 3-month-old pup in there to catch a 200-pound hog. I do not mean that. But if I have a 12 to 16-week-old, 3 to 4-month-old puppy that will show me interest on some game that's equal in size or smaller than him, I'll put him up and keep him till he's about 8 months old. Then I'll see how interested he is. And then when I know that son gun really wants to put his teeth on it, then I'll set him up until I know all his puppy teeth are out, and that all his teeth are in. and I'm not going to hurt him, and he's not going to mess up his teeth set or anything, and then we'll go from there, you know. And a lot of times in the catch dogs, it seems like they do a little earlier than a lot of the hounds with the curs as far as like getting all their physical attributes into the more mature side of it.
Yes, sir.
You know, so it's like you can be a little tougher with the bulldogs or whatever catch dog you're running.
Yeah, because, you start saying bulldog now, it's like, nah, I run an APBT. Okay.
Yeah.
I run a game dog. Okay.
Yeah, and there's a difference.
I know there is. There's a huge difference. I know there is, but...
I have American Pit Bull Terriers. If I say I got a bulldog, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are bulldogs out here that are 90 pounds. I got one in the house. You know, he's a pit bull. He ain't no pit bull. He's a pit bull. And he's my buddy. I love him. And I don't think he would ever make a catch dog. Never tried him. But at the same time, I've seen some really good bulldogs that are Mollister type dogs that have a bulldog look to them, a bulldog build and characteristics. So that's why I'm like, that's just a bulldog. But then, like you said, and then you hear people say, "Well, I got a game dog." You have a dog that's out of game dog lines, unless you have put that dog nose to nose with another one in a box for an hour. That's something that you don't know if he's game or not. That's what game, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the willingness to go until it can't go anymore.
Like that video, man. Someone released one. I don't want to get too into detail and get anything flagged, but that someone just shared one. They stuck that game dog. It probably wasn't even a game dog.
Yeah.
I don't know, but you seen it. They threw it in solo with that boar hog, and that dog had every bit of drive in it that it needed to have.
Yeah.
But you know, those are unfortunate.
The one in that big, was it the one in that big pen, that no-eared hog?
Yep. Yeah. I don't like that. So that's not something I'm going to do to a bulldog, period.
No, because, I mean, and that's in a different country and the way they do things. But they do that dumb shit right here, too.
I know.
You know how it goes. You got some of these guys that they have the whole piss on it attitude. I'm going to do what I want, and that's fine. That's cool. I just don't want to be associated with you. And I really hope that you're not associated with anybody I know, because that's not how it should be.
I agree. Well, and I've lost a few friends here that I used to hunt with quite often. Not necessarily because of that exact thing, but like for listeners out there, man, if someone's not doing something you like, go ahead and move on. I know the people that were doing stuff that I didn't agree with, they have fun. They do have great dogs. They catch hogs. But it is not my style. I can't sit there and kick a dog in its head. I can't sit there and kick a dog because it's sitting at my feet. That's just me. And I know a lot of people are like, well, you know, you're going to get a lot of feedback on, hey, it's a freaking, it's a tool. I know, I hear that all the time. But
so you don't think that you can take a switch or a leash or something and whoop a dog and make him go cast?
I don't do none of that. I never personally have.
I'm just asking, do you think that you could do that? It's a legit question. I'm not for it at all.
No. I believe you're going to get it to go away from you, and yes, it's going to go away, but it's going to go away out of fear, and you don't know. In my opinion, I don't even know if it would hunt. I mean,
what do you think?
I'm just not a fan of it.
Think too? No, I mean, I'm
serious. To switch when a dog wouldn't quit jumping on me, because I've had some that are just were like. Oh,
I'm talking about to make it hunt.
I just go put them in the box.
You can't make them hunt. If you could make a dog hunt, you'd be a billionaire. And guess what? They just ain't many millionaire dogs.
I know I don't have to understand what the dog's doing. It
just gotta
know what it's doing. Evidently, it's not fucking doing it. So I'm gonna put it up. Mess with the other dogs that are doing something. It can sit there and not have a bad time, but it don't get to nothing. And it works. The bad time worse, because whooping on it's probably not any kind of positive correlation with what's going on.
And then when you're trying to call them out and everybody's waiting on you to go to the next spot, I've ran into that a lot. And they're like, man, I just can't get my dog. I'm like, well, shit, you just were there, and I've honestly, hunt your style. I'm never going to degrade you. My wife has left hunts.
I will.
Because of stuff like that. I mean,
I will tell you, I will get in your business if you hunt with me. You know, I'll be like, look, you don't be doing that around me. You can go home, go do something else. I can't handle it.
Yes, sir. I like that.
I can't do that.
I'm so new to it that I fell into that, Mr. Joey. And I want all the listeners to know out there that I really do that. I fell into the whole, you got to treat it like it's a tool. I didn't go and beat my dogs by any means, but I was just like trying to not grow up. I tried not growing a bond with it, not getting attached to them, I guess. I'm not going to say the bond word. And I just absolutely could not do it. So, I mean, hearing it from, especially you that's been at it for a long time, and I mean, your son's coming up carrying on the legacy of it, and both y'all still kind of got the same mindset. I love hearing that from both of y'all. I really do.
Well, that's, like I said, with the running catch dogs, we never had any issues because, and there's going to be guys out there, running catch dog guys, they're not going to like this. Those were kind of some of the easiest dogs ever bred up, made. You know, it's like all you got to do is find some rough dogs.
Bring a hard hunter to the hard hunter,
and usually it works.
A hard hunter.
Yeah, and also most people that are running dogs that are running catch dogs that are really rough, they're hunting out of trucks, four-wheelers, side-by-sides, and they're short-range, hot tracks right on top of them. And when I say on top of them, I mean like 400 or 500 yards or so. You know, you're not casting these dogs a mile deep. And I have been in that situation where I've had those type dogs, and there are plenty of them out there. But generally, as a whole, most of them are not like that. So with the running catch dogs, it was like, hey, it ain't no big deal. We didn't have to get a dog to go do nothing. We just opened the box and let them go. We had to keep them from trying to whoop each other and whoop everything around, and then they go hunt. And whatever they found, it was on. Well, with the dogs that we're running now, we have had, with the hogs the way they are, we've had to change a lot of the way we hunt. We have different dogs, different style dogs now. And it's like, man, I can't treat these dogs, can't be as heavy-handed with them. Because, like, some of the running catch dogs that we've had, like, you can do whatever you want, it ain't going to affect them. They don't care. I promise you. Like I said, I made a lot of mistakes. And I have seen, there's a guy I used to hunt with, and man, he got on a tear one night, and dude, it broke me from going with him at all. It wound up becoming a fist fight in the middle of nowhere, 3 or 4 guys, because he was beating his dog. Like, I'm talking about standing on his neck and stomping it. I was like, what are you doing? Like, it was bad. It was bad, and it was a big crowd. I was like, this just can't go on. And then it went from that to when we were leaving, he jumped on a guy that was in the truck asleep. I was like, see, this is an issue. Because that dog's gonna let you know what kind of person that is anyway.
Yeah.
And if somebody has a dog and that dog don't want to come to him, is always laying down and shy and just acts like they're scared of their handler.
Yep.
Guess what? There's a reason. There's usually a reason.
Oh, I judge everybody based off my dog. I know I go to church every Sunday, Mr. Joey. I'm telling y'all right now that I do not have any right to judge a single person, but I do when it comes to my dogs. And if my dog's a little skittish of you, I'm like, well, I might want to think about how I really approach you.
Yeah.
Now, you know, we covered a lot right there, Mr. Joey. We did. We went down a few rabbit holes there, but no big deal. But I got a question for you, Mr. Nate. You ready?
All right.
I got to ask you this one because I think you did a big part of it. I really want to know what got you to start the Dixie Doggers podcast. Or was it your dad?
A little bit of both. So we'd always talk about like doing a YouTube channel, and like I posted videos on like YouTube from like 8th, 9th grade, post like 1 or 2 a year, like on GoPro, like me fishing or going trapping or something like that.
We had a few dog videos.
Yeah, then we had some hot dog videos.
I mean,
no. I try not to get it. And this is when YouTube wasn't even that bad. So we were a little rough. So, I don't know. We were just talking about it when I started college. And it was like, like the podcast stuff seemed fun. And we was wanting to do like a beer time episode. We talked about doing like that. And I was like, we could just go and shoot the shit and be like doing stuff like that. And then, I don't know, we just kept getting messages, phone calls, and emails, and questions. And so I was like, well, if you want to do this, we can do it, kind of share some stuff. And then Dad's like, well, I think I want to do it. And, we was like talking about it, and we were over at my aunt's house, my Aunt Rosemary's house, and I was like, well, I ordered this stuff. And he's like, oh, okay. Come in, and it was like, well, I guess we're going to figure out how to do this. And then, and then me and my buddy sat in my bedroom one weekend when I was home from college and, figured out basically how to start a podcast and do a bunch of stuff in a day because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So, yeah, got a long way with it. Figured out a lot. Did a lot of research and a lot of reading and a lot of messing up. This don't work.
Nate put all this stuff together, man. And I tell everybody, he's the backbone of it.
I was like, what do you want? I can't say I can give it to you, but if you tell me what you want, I can tell you what I can get you.
Yeah.
And so we go from there, try to just make it happen.
And there was only just a couple of any type of hunting-related podcasts when we started.
Yeah, it's deadly. It seems like every year there's more and more, and,
It's good.
It seems like it gets easier and easier to do, just learning more, finding new tips and tricks, or, I don't know, just hitting a different groove about it. But for a long time, we was only doing, one episode a month, and then, just college and the store and stuff, it got to where, we might skip a couple months or something like that. And then, I guess after I got out of college and we got with the store, it was we really want to, people like the podcast. We get a lot of feedback on it.
We're being harassed.
Yeah, people calling Joey and being like, "Are y'all gonna put out a new episode?"
I didn't know any of these people.
Getting text messages. You gonna put out another episode? We'll do it. I remember we hadn't put out an episode for 2 months or something like that, or a month, and it was the first Tulsa Standard hunt. And we went to the weigh-in. After the 100th person asked us, are y'all gonna put out some more episodes? That I got done that day. I was like, well, I said, I guess I'm gonna get my ass back in the saddle. We're gonna start cranking them out because I don't sound like I have a choice.
Well, what Nate's not telling you, like he said, he had college in the store.
Mm-hmm.
He was also working full time as a student over there in the lab.
Yeah,
he also took care of, at that time, 60 head of dogs here on his yard.
Yeah, we had 63 when I graduated.
Exactly. So, and he took care of all of those because I was hurt. I couldn't hardly even walk for a couple of years. It was pretty rough. When we started this, I was just getting back to where I could walk around. My knees got demolished. Well, not just that. Then when the store came about, he worked that. Not just that, I was still doing construction, and he was helping me do that as well. And we did guided hunts, and we took care of all these properties.
And a lot of this was right around the time that COVID happened. So we had hybrid college. So I'd go work all day Monday, do dog chores here in Alabama, all that, get all my shit together, wake up at 3 a.m. Tuesday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Get ready, go drive 2 hours Mississippi State, go to class all day, do my homework, get most of my schoolwork caught up for the week, come home Wednesday morning, work all day Wednesday, and then go back for Thursday class, and then come home Friday, and then we hunt and work and chill.
I was still hauling quail then.
Yeah, occasionally.
I was, me and Joe.
My senior year of college is when we started the store, so my sophomore year was the year with COVID, and that's when we started doing more of the podcast.
Yeah.
But I think we had started it my freshman year of college is when we started it. I think it was my first semester of college. Just a lot of.
From that, most definitely, Nate, man. You got so lucky to have the dad you got. You know what I mean? I know people give Uncle Pat shit, whatnot, but same thing there with how he's taking care of that boy. I love seeing stuff like that. That's something I wish I had growing up. I'm not going to turn it into no sob story, but I did want to let you know that what you're doing, Mr. Joey, is a kid from my childhood's dream. I wish I had that growing up. So whatever you did is right. So if you ever think you're doing something wrong in the parenting world, I want you to know that you were like a dream when I was younger. So, Nate, don't ever take that for granted, man. I'm telling you, that's amazing.
Oh yeah.
I gotta set the tone on that. And most people would be like, just be like eating that shit up. And I do. And that's very humbling, and I really appreciate it. As a parent, I made more mistakes than I did as a dog handler. And I think that's the biggest part of being a good parent is accountability. If you make a mistake and you were wrong, acknowledge it. If you were wrong on something and you need to apologize to your child, don't feel like, oh, I'm the dad, I can't do that. Sure you can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I can discipline this just as well. It's one of the, and I'm a hard person to get along with, very very much so. But I did not have that guidance. Like you said, I didn't have that guidance growing up, so I was like, I'm doing the best I can do, and I didn't even have many role models to look at. I looked at my uncle, and he's just a few years older than me, and I always got to say that, if he helped me along the way a lot, but most of it is it's keeping the dirt on your knees and on your elbows. You got to pray, and you got to have a good relationship with our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And if you don't know Him, hey, get to know Him.
Yes, sir.
And he can make it all better. All you got to do is ask.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So, and there's a lot of people that don't like that part of it, but you got to deal with it with me.
Yeah, I don't care. Same here. I mean, ever since I've been in this dog world is what got me attending church. I mean, almost 2 years now, and we're members of our church.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. I mean, I love it. I also took a couple kids out on younger gentlemen, not kids, but younger gentlemen, 18, 19 years old. Took them out on a hog hunt, and after that, they've been attending church with me ever since. So
that's good. That's good.
I mean, that's the stuff I like. But I mean, we'll get off that one. If y'all don't mind, if you got something else you got to cover, go ahead. I just got another question that's sitting right here in my mind. I got to ask it.
Right, it's yours. Like the only other thing on any of that I wanted to cover was, and back to the parenting thing, because man, everybody gives me so much credit about it. Look. Nate raised me just as much as I raised him. You know what I'm saying?
We learned a lot
together. And as for the listeners out there, if you're a young parent in this day and time, my hat's off to you just in general. But listen, everybody makes mistakes. It'll be okay. Just trust. That's all you got to do. Now we can move on.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And to piggyback off that real quick, I got to say one as well. It's kind of like y'all's dogs. You might think you learned everything listening to these podcasts. Trust me, I know every Dixie Doggers podcast. I think I'm probably the only one out of Dixie Doggers that listens to the Dixie Doggers podcast. I can tell you where to go to find any information. I'm gonna talk it up, y'all. I'm on my own podcast saying that. Yeah.
I know. I appreciate that, man.
I'll argue with anybody if they want to say no, it's on this one. But what I'm saying is you can potentially learn more from just hunting your dog and learning your dog. Mm-hmm. And learn about yourself, what you really don't know, than you'll ever do listening to someone else try to tell you something.
Exactly. And what was the biggest... Nathan taught me this on these podcasts and stuff, because at first people would ask me stuff, and I'd be like, yeah, man, just do this. And then Nate was like, be careful doing that, Dad, because somebody's going to be like, oh, man, he told me to do that.
Yeah.
And it didn't work or something. So we make sure to let people know, this is, if you'll go back, especially to the early ones, every time we say something, it's like, this is what works for us. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm just saying this is what worked for me.
This is consultation, not instruction.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of this stuff, like we were talking earlier, I'm like, these are the factors. Take all these things, consider your factors on where you're at to what you need to make sure that you can produce what you have to do. If you're hunting hogs, depends on where you live at. Like if you're in Alaska and you want hog dogs, well, probably not.
Damn it, Joey.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
I want to say something so goddamn bad, but I'll tell y'all later. Remember, I got to remember that.
If you open the damn back door and there's hogs rooting up your backyard, hey, get that pit bull off the couch and you'll be all right too.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
sure.
But like I said, that's one of those things. It's just the whole factor in it, or all the factors in it. Take that into consideration before you just jump into it. That's the main thing I see with a lot of guys and gals right now, because hog hunting is more popular than it's ever been, and now we have, you know, we have a lot of people, well, like us, you know, we're on social media, and I say us, like me, Nate, you, Carter, Ryan, Justin Becker, Python Cowboy, Best Camel, all these guys that's out there, Uncle Pat, that Rusty Mayshore, White Hounds. I mean, we can go on and on.
Yeah.
All these guys, we put ourselves out in the public eye, and people they watch what we do.
Yeah.
And so a lot of young guys are like, man, I want to do that too. But they didn't see the 20 years of screw ups that I did, and all the heartache and the long days and the long nights and the arguments and the fighting and all the money and time and travel. You know, it did just happen overnight. And
Yes.
to get to that, and it's not just me, it's everybody that I just named. Everybody's they paid their dues, they're still paying dues. So to get to that part, just slow down and think about what you really need. If that doesn't work, then give somebody a call that does this stuff. And for the guys out there that have been doing it for 10 years or longer, stop being assholes, man. Help some of these guys. Take a minute and talk to them. And yes, you're going to get screwed over eventually. It's going to happen. It's already happened before. You know it's coming. But at the same time, don't take them to your best spots and be like, "Come on, boys, I'm going to show y'all how to do this." Just talk to them. That's all you got to do.
Treat them like a Saudi prince.
Just
treat
talk to
them
them.
good. Just
Yeah.
give them common respect. And like that's like the whole point in the podcast. It's like, yeah, I'm sure somebody's gonna get on there and be like, "These motherfuckers are stupid."
Yeah.
Or be like, "Oh, that's a great idea." And then none of their buddies listening to the podcast will be like, "Look what I found out the other day."
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
they know it and they discovered it. And you know what? I don't care. As long as it makes it better as a whole, who cares?
Yeah.
I don't need acknowledgement. I don't need these things. I get value from me. It does not come from external.
That's one of the biggest things that I think that we've had to kind of.
I know
We've
what
had
I
to
do is good
discuss
enough
things.
for me.
It's like we have to put that out there to a lot of people, like guys that are.
This is a team, a community.
Yeah, it's like we're not arguing with you, man. We're not trying to be against you or nothing. And I post. I've got where I try to post a lot of stuff on Instagram, and it goes to Facebook and all this. But I'm really not on there all the time. It might look like I'm there, but like there's a lot of stuff. I might spend 2 hours today just putting all these posts together, schedule them, and let them drop.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but because I'm in the woods the rest of the time, or I'm working, and so it's like. But also, like Nate was talking about, you don't have to have somebody just constantly saying, "Well, these guys did this, these guys did that." Look, I know what I'm doing, you know, and I don't mean that like I know everything by no means. I know what I'm personally doing and what I'm putting out there in the community, in the hunting world, and so I don't have to have somebody going around and saying, "Well, Joey and Nate did all this or did that or did that." And it does happen. There's plenty of times where we've seen it. We're like, well, we know that was our idea. We talked about it with this person, and they took it and ran with it. Did they give us did they say, "Hey, man, y'all guys did that"? No. But also, you didn't see. I'm not going to be on there whining and crying about it. I'm like, well, good. They did it. They didn't talk about it.
They got the gumption to do it, and there's room on their team. And I got the time. Hell, I extend the hand.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shit, let's get it. I'm glad to see somebody else do it. It saved me a lot of work. I can still get in just by helping.
The only time we ever seen anything like that was about the big bore score, because there was a couple people that once we started doing the big bore score.
That is
on these
badass,
tournaments.
by the way. I love it.
And all I ever had, Nathan never said a word about it. But like, I think Case was one of the first ones that done it, and he had put down there, and I messaged him. I was like, "Hey man," I said, and he's a really good friend of ours now through all this. And I told him, I was like, "Hey, that's something that we actually came up with." I said, "Nate's the one that did the formula and all that stuff." I said, if anything, just give him his credit on that.
Yeah.
And after that, man, we boars and broads, their tournaments, they started using it. So therefore, they they're like, hey, why don't you guys just come do it? You're the ones that came up with it. Why don't Nate come up here and do the measuring and do all the math?
Yes. And
it works good, man. It really does.
That big bore score, like, I've also talked to Case. I talked to Case about that tournament. It was a 4-dog tournament.
Dog, yeah.
Man, him and I talked. We couldn't get off the phone with each other. Goodness, we stayed on the phone. I guarantee every bit of 4 or 5 hours. But
yeah,
he was a great guy. Man, he is. He's still an amazing guy. But yeah, when he brought up big bore score, I'm gonna let y'all know. Even the listeners out there, man, he gave every bit of credit to y'all. He was just like, man, it's an awesome deal. And you hear people out there complain about it, and I'm like, why the. Without, I'm like, why?
Don't know how to make it any easier.
But there's no complaining. That's bullshit. Because what pisses me off is those guys are like the ones that want to go. Well, I catch all the biggest fucking hogs. It's like I don't give a shit. What about them people that are catching teeth?
Hogs. It's the fattest hogs.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
With pigs are worth more, though.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, that was the whole thing. We were like
the great equalizer, the standardization. I'm a nerd, and everything in science is standardized.
Yep.
There is a system. There is a guideline, a baseline, something.
Oh, I can't tell this, brother. I can't tell
quantitative amount.
If I say that, what about this?
Look, it looks cool, which I'm a hillbilly. I get it. I'm also a hillbilly, but. After you go and do stuff, it's like, when you standardize things, the rate comparison of values will give you a trend to see if improvement or not.
Mm-hmm.
And if you be like, I caught 10 boars and they scored this, and this, and then this year I caught 10 boars, this, and this. Did I catch bigger pigs last year or this year? Or you and your buddy or something like that. And it's the only way I could get it to where it matched up to be like, okay, it's proportional to like 160 point pig would be like the same amount of trophy each deer.
Yeah. And that's good.
To have a reference.
Well, because everybody knows what
the 160 inch deer.
You're like, damn, that's a big deer.
Deer. So 160 point hole.
So you get to the 200s, you're like, oh shit!
You get to the 230s, 250s, you get into some freak nasty.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's gonna be 400-pound hogs with 4 or 5 inch teeth.
No.
You get to that.
Hey, remember when I talked on y'all's first podcast about that daggum fucking? Yeah. We caught it on my wedding morning.
Mm-hmm.
It was a.
What did you?
Gosh, I did the score. It was Gosh
How
damn
much
it.
Did that hog weigh?
375.6.
Okay.
And then, gosh damn it, now I got to remember the teeth size.
I remember it was a big hog, but you had that one in Tusker's magazine too, right?
If they published it in Tusker's, I highly appreciate it. Shout out Ed Barnes, by the way. I don't know.
I think that's where I read it. Was it like a wedding hog or something?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was my wedding morning with my bachelor party from...
It was in, next to the last magazine, I'm pretty sure. I've got it in the house.
You know, I got to tell y'all a funny story real quick. I know I got to hear y'all's, but just real quick, one of my buddies that was there, he's a huge hog hunter. And I was like, man, we were drinking, just to let y'all know ahead of time. We were pretty hammered. And I said, gosh damn it, this newt dog, because they were talking shit, by the way. They were like, man, you go out there and we caught a couple little shoats. Actually one was a damn piglet. And then a little shoat. And I was like, man, be careful what you wish for. I said, we could get on a big one. And he goes, man, I want to catch a monster. I said, all right. So we ran out there. And the funny part, screw all the catching part. I'm not even going to tell you about that part because I've already covered it. But my buddy that was there, he's a huge hog hunter down in this area as well. And I said, man, I'm just going to go try to drop on him. And he begged his wife right there. He's like, can I please go with him? She's like, no. I called him not even an hour and a half, 2 hours later. I said, dude, we caught that damn hog. And he goes, no way. I said, yep. I sent him pictures, and he's like, that daggum newt dog. I said, yep. I said, he bayed the shit out of him. I said, we crawled in there, and it was, there was some unfortunate accidents that happened in the situation, but, it is what it is. But, it was funny because, a big hog hunter that really wanted to go to catch this hog, by the way, listeners, just to let y'all know, man, hunting by yourself or hunting with inexperienced people is not safe.
No.
I just want to cover that. It ended up being we caught it. But yeah, I'll get you the measurements and stuff. I know it's in the book. I wrote down the exact big bore score as well. And I took pictures of the tape and everything. You know, the funniest part about that is a 371-pound hog won the biggest hog for the hardcore big bore score. Or not big bore score, sorry, hardcore monthly. And I'm
gonna talk more with Michael and try to get him to incorporate it and be like, now let's even this playing field. Oh, boys.
Yeah. and I didn't even, I had everything recorded, everything the right way. And I'm not kidding you, Michael texted me the next month. He said, hey, are you in the hardcore this month? And I was like, yeah. And I looked at my wife. I said, gosh damn it, we lost last month. She's like, what do you mean? I said, I was too worried about our dog having what happened, and I didn't even send none of the videos or nothing.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so I seen him at Uncle Earl's, and I showed him everything, and I was like, look, check this out. And he's like, man, you would have won against a 370-pounder, So
that's right. Was it Rex Bumpus or Garrett Piku?
No, it wasn't. It was Boykins that won that one.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember. Well, I know, man, Bumpus, he catches a lot of big hogs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then the next month after that, the funniest damn thing, my wife, the day before, and she's at, I'm going to sound like a pussy right now, but she's at the grill cooking. But she had me fire up the grill a little bit ago. She wanted to cook some good food. I said, all right. But I wish she was in here to talk shit right now, because she would. But the very next month, so we would have had it 2 months in a row, but the next month was a freaking joke. I go out there and I was just pleasure hunting. I didn't take no dogs, put them on any big tracks. I just was trying to catch a hog. And we caught like a 160-pound sow. And I was like, man, I should call Michael and go ahead and weigh it in. And she's like, if you win with that pussy hog, I'm not taking credit. I was like, what? And I swear she told me that flat out. And it was the last day, by the way, for the turn. We've already caught bigger. I'm not tooting my own horn, but I'm saying we already caught bigger boar hogs before that. I just didn't turn them in because it's usually a big ass hog. And she gave me shit. And the next morning, Mr. Rex won it with like a 13-pounder. Whatever it was.
26 pounds or something.
Yeah, something tiny.
I had one I didn't weigh in. I sent it to Michael the same day. Mm-hmm. And he was like, why did you not send it? I was like, there's 140 pounds.
Dude, I know.
It was whooping my ass. He was like, you would have won. I was like, yeah, right. He was like, no. And he said it. I was like, you got to be shitting me.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. And then we went to Will Booth and caught a 322. And he was like, I sent him the video. He was like, you're not even entered. I was like, God dang.
Yep.
I said, I'm not any good at this shit.
I know. I feel y'all. I had 2 months back to back, and I love that it goes through the hot years. And I really wish Dixie Doggers, y'all, Mr. Joey and Mr. Nathan, take this into accountability and debate on it. I really wish y'all would do it as well. I'm not saying, I don't want to start controversy with Mr. Mike, and y'all, but what I'm saying is I would like more of these monthly online tournaments to go on. Because just one, it does kind of... No, I love it, but it kind of sucks because then even if y'all did the monthly but big bore score, that would be badass. But it has, maybe it has to be a boar only. You can't use a bar hog. You can't use a sow. And then Mr. Michael covers the... the sows, boars, and because he used to do all of them, the biggest sow, the biggest boar, the biggest bar, which was awesome.
I've had a couple people hit me up about that, same thing, but it's like, I don't know, this coming year, I think we're going to kick off do the Shankathon again. It's a long, hard, grueling tournament.
Keep it that way. Everybody complaining about the length.
And I'm going to tell you, some of the guys that hunt it, the reason we done it for that length of many days, it usually starts on one Friday and goes to the next Saturday.
Yeah.
And so you got 8 days, 9 days there that you can hunt. it's not. It wasn't necessarily meant. It started out like a working man's hunt, what I was calling it, and it's so because a lot of these hunts, people have to take off work.
Yeah, they did. They took vacation specifically for y'all, just to let you know. Just telling y'all from a friend's perspective.
It wasn't even for that. I was like, so the reason we've done that is like everybody that works shift work or a normal job,
yeah,
they could hunt 2 to 3 days within that 8 or 9 day period. Hell no, these dudes are taking off and hunting the whole 8 or 9 days.
I did.
I was like, hell yeah. So that made it even better to me. I was like, wow. So we had the longest stringer in there. Well, they broke us from that shit. Because after Case and them sent, well, the first one
50
was Josh
something.
Blosky and them. First time Josh Blosky and them, it was like 29 or 30, and it was like, yeah, okay, y'all win.
Yeah.
And then it was, yeah, I don't know, 50 something. Like, I was like, dude, just stop sending videos. Nobody was even close.
Yeah.
You know, people were trying to catch, you know, a big boar.
That's all I was trying to do. Yeah.
But dude, Case and them went berserk on that shit, and when I say they got the hogs to do that, they really do.
Yeah.
Some of the places we went to, and there's high fences that are all out through Texas, and that's a big like a controversial thing there in the tournaments. They're like, no, you can't hunt a high fence. If it's 5,000 acres or bigger, I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't care.
But Mr. Joey, on that one, I do got to cover as well. Some of those 5,000 acre down, like in those areas, I've been out in East Texas as well. They have split fences. I wanted you to know that.
No, I know, I have too. But that was the stipulations. It has to be one continuous.
Oh.
That's the only way it can happen.
Okay.
It can't have holding pins in it.
Okay.
It can't be broke off. And also, if the hogs are there, like, they can't have been caught within the past year.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I like that.
Or introduced within the last year, should I say? You know, because you know how it is. You get a good group of hogs in there, and they just keep making hogs and all that. But then there's guys out here that, man, they can't just run it normal. They have to cheat. You know, so they're going to go out here and catch a hog and put it in a pen and hold it for 6 months and feed it out, and then that way they're like, oh, well, we can win.
Yeah.
Look, man, I mean, if people are going to cheat, they're going to cheat no matter what.
Yeah.
You know, and if they can cheat that well and they're so used to lying, they can probably beat a damn polygraph.
Yeah.
It just keeps honest people honest. But talking about the high fences, though, if you get in a 5,000 acre spot that's just one open area, just solid 5,000 acres, and even though it has a fence all the way around it, go to a 5,000 acre spot.
That's huge.
That does not have a fence around it. And you put hogs in there, they're going to run the same way as what people think, you know. Well, in that high fence, those hogs, they know where that fence is at. And generally what they're going to do,
stay away from it.
They're going to run so much. A high fence will humble you. I'm telling you, it literally will. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, they're in a fence. Yes,
I want to walk. I tell everybody come and hunt one. I've done it too. It is freaking way harder than people think.
Did you go down to the one in Quitman?
No, I went to Jeff's in Oklahoma.
Okay.
And that one was, they just run. I mean, if you don't have a dog, like my Newt dog caught one hog in an hour.
Yeah.
In one whole hour, he caught one hog. And what won it was 2 hogs. 2 hogs caught in 1 hour is what won it.
And so how big is his area up there?
It's only 120 some acres, and I cannot wait to hear all the shit talking. Oh, it's only 100, so I'd have every dog out there hammering it. There was like 18 teams or something that said the same thing. And trust me, every side of the world was there. We had Bay Pen guys there. We had Woods Dogs guys there. We had people who didn't give a shit there. I'm telling you, it, like Mr. Joey said, it will humble you.
We done it in a 6-acre fence. We done the first Woods Dog Rendezvous that Ronnie Creek put on a couple years ago out there at the Boar's Nest. And all we did, we put a pig in a cage, a trap, let it lay down a track. Then we moved it, and all the dogs really had to do was go out there and run right into it. It's only 6 acres. I told everybody, I said, me and Pat were standing there talking. He said, what do you think's going to happen? I said, there's too much scent, too much dog.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, probably so. I said, oh, yeah. I said, the only thing I think would happen if somebody brought a good dog that'll run with his head up and just kind of like a bird dog that's going to beat the bushes. Guy brought a cow dog that he worked cows with, and that dog went out there and just started running in circles.
Stuck his
nose. He went by it 3 times before he ever even seen it.
He really stuck his nose down?
No, he ran by it with his head up.
Okay.
And he turned around and seen it. That's the only way he done it.
Gosh, damn.
What Matt found it, and was it midnight or 7? One of the females. No, Susie. I carried Susie out there with me.
Yeah, I think so.
But they found it and they made it. But mine, my dogs, I don't allow them to look at one in a pen or in a trap or nothing. So as soon as they went out there, they seen the hog, they located and barked a couple of times, and then they backed up and was just kind of standing there like, what's happening?
Yeah.
And, so I was like, this is something so different. You don't realize how much it throws your dog in a loop. And the way it was judged is Chris Hansen, Ed Barnes, and Nathan were in tree stands 20 foot up in the air watching all of it from up top. Oh, yeah. I mean, it was in a small setting. So when you get into a large setting like that, it is different. It's a lot tougher. There was a pen over in Quitman, Mississippi. We used to go over there. It's like 400 or 500 acres. And I'm telling you now, you will run hogs. We've caught quite a few over there. But it wasn't if you got a real good dog, a good track dog, don't even take it.
Yeah, I know. They'll just get stuck up. Trust me, I found that out the hard way.
Exactly. Either that or they're just going to run. They're like, they can't push a track.
Or Mr. Joey, let me stop you right there and have you answer that real quick. Now, this is, and I know you got the experience, so I ain't going to hear the hate end on the other end of it. A lot of people that's what they want to do. They want to get a plot hound, or I'm being biased again. Sorry. Let me say they want to get a blue tick, a red tick. They want to get something, and they say, man, I want to go to a pen. I want to drop my dog in a pen with 70 hogs, and it's only 25 acres. Can you please explain to them, that's not a good idea by any means?
I'll do you one better. Nathan, you explain it to them. They get get a dog, they want a plot or a blue tick, and they want to drop it in a 25-acre pen with 50 or 60 pigs in there. Is that a good idea?
No.
And why not?
Muddled.
Exactly. So what's
track is muddled, and it's going to be an overlay.
Yes.
Sure. The whole beauty of running a track is it's a track, not multiple tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So you have tracks that are layered and crossed and zigzagged, and some of them the same age, some are older. It's that dog can't read it.
Yep.
You can't interpret it and tell whether it's coming, going, or what. And sometimes there's so many tracks that the whole sounder could go through, and it'd only be one group of tracks from the same sounder, not even in a pen. We've run into this, and it'd be so many where they run through this cutover that they go and run down the pig trail, but they're not running a track. They're just pigs are in here because it's just scent everywhere, and then the scent just kind of dissipates and they can't figure out anything. But then they'll make a cut, make a big loop back, and they'll find one that kind of squabbled off because it was a solo track.
If they're lucky.
Yeah, if they're lucky.
But in the 25-acre pen, yeah, probably not. They're gonna huddle together.
Yeah. It's gonna be.
But yeah,
a lot of sight running and a lot of.
That's what you're gonna create, and you're gonna create a dog that's gonna bark a lot, especially if you're starting one.
Yeah.
That dog's gonna bark out of frustration because in that pen, if it's got hard corners, yeah, they could run that hog and catch it, or run a hog and catch it there. If there's 40 or 50 of them, or 10 of them, or whatever. If I was going to do 25 acres to start a puppy, I would put one pig in there, and I would make sure there hadn't been nothing in there for a week or two before that, and then I'd put one in there, and say, you know, if I got puppies, you know, let them go in there, figure it out, see what they work, see what they do. Then you do your part of it. If they're a little bit older dog that you're trying to get to take a track by itself without a dog. When I say older, I mean like 8 months or a year old.
Yeah.
In the training process of it, and then get them to run it. But once that hog makes a few loops in there, if they haven't stopped it, I would pull the dog out. This is just me. This does not mean that it's right or that it's wrong. I would pull the dog out, and I'd take him to the woods then. Because if he's stuck with it around that pen that many times without getting, you know, ADD over here, put him in the woods where he's got a better chance of catching, or you know, a better chance of running it better.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. But it's not a good idea to I've never seen that really work except to make a dog that's going to get rough.
Yeah, I was going to say, training rough dogs like bird bulls or something like that, a lot of the run and catch dogs,
because they're going to sight run.
They sight run and they wind.
Yeah.
And so, especially anything with a bird dog cross is probably going to drink up a lot of scent and just run through the woods with its head up. So, you know, they'll be going through there, and that wind might change, and they're like, oh, the pigs are in the bushes here, and then go right there to them and bust one's ass. And for hopefully seen that.
And for newer people, you got to deal with hogs that squat.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother deal there.
I didn't even know that was a thing till I ran into it.
Yeah, that'll make you pull your hair out and just.
And dogs that'll wind or can drift a track will definitely make it a lot better. But a dog that's going to run a track, it's hard as fuck on them.
Yeah, they're not. Well, it can be even harder on a dog that wants to run a good hot track, because that hog, a lot of times, they're going to make a loop or two, and then they're going to squat, and that dog's going to still be doing them circles. That old Rick, he'll do that. If he loses one, a lot of times it might take him 15, 20 minutes in one area to pick it back up, you know, or to figure it out.
Yeah.
And when he first done that, I was like, what is he doing? You know, I was treating him more like a coon dog at first. I was like, I'm not going to let him go out there and stand on his head and just keep wallering a track, you know. Like, he's got to get busy. And then all of a sudden, man, he'd open up and jump. Then the race was on again. And I got to figure, I was like, them damn hogs are squatting on him. And he's taking his time and working it out.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, a lot of the dogs that we ran before, they run with their head up more. And Rick will too. Like, I like that about him. Once he gets a track going, he'll have his head up. He can push a track, he can drift it. But at the same time, you know, if it's a track-minded dog, if that hog starts throwing them loops in there and then just squats, man, he can overrun it and then come back to it and then overrun it again, then go back to it, and, you know, just messes him up.
Yeah.
And a hog that squats hard, like, you literally can put your hands on it.
Their nose will be sticking out of a waller hole, and that's it.
Yeah. Have you been in a position where you can go up there and kick one of them and make them run?
Well, we had one under a root ball. I sound stupid right now saying that, but I want to say a root ball. You know, when hurricanes come through and stuff, they knock them trees over.
That's what it is. It's a root ball.
Yeah. I didn't know if I gave it the right term, but yeah, we've.
That's what we call them.
My dog, Newt dog, was by himself, and my buddy even said, my buddy was kind of talking a little shit. He was like, man, this sounds kind of weird in there. And he doesn't hog hunt. This guy I'm talking about, he really don't hog hunt much, but you could tell the difference in bay barks. And I was like, well, he's by himself. I said, I hope he's not trashing. And we walked in there. I had a bulldog and everything. I was like looking around. He's looking right at it. I'm not bullshitting y'all. And I was like, what the hell? I was like, Newt, get out of it. And I'm getting pissed because I'm like, there's a varmint hole or something down here. And that hog happened to stand up. I mean, I'm not saying I might have been able to, if I knew where it was, personally, me. this is where I say trust your dog's nose. If I would have been able to see it, I might have been able to go up there and touch it. But I told Newt, I said, Newt, get out of it. He starts walking my way, and he just, he gave me a little attitude about it. And I was like, Newt, get the fuck out of it now. Come on. I called him back again, and he just stuck his nose back down and then went to the same area, just talking again. I was like, what the fuck? So I cut the bulldog out, and I'm serious. The bulldog literally got about 10 yards from it. That hog jumped up. Boom, and it smoked it. And I was like, wow. I didn't even see the hog. I mean, it was just wallered in so daggone deep. And we're talking nighttime and everything like that. So if it was in the middle of the day, I may have been able to see it. But I don't want to sit there and say that, I think that I don't know. I don't want to give false information out there regarding the hunt. You know what I mean?
I got you.
So
no, I was just curious. I didn't know if you'd seen him like that or not yet.
That's what I was getting at on my end. That's the only one I've ever seen that bad. But I mean, if you've seen him way worse, then I'd like for you to share that.
Yeah, Kay sent me a video the other day. He's got a dog out there that I left when we went out there hunting with him. One of the German high terriers, and I mean he works the shit out of the dogs, But it's crazy because his dogs are really, really good dogs, and they'll be out there all around the hogs, and you can walk right up to the hogs and kick the bushes and jump them up like rabbits, and then they're gone again. But the dogs will be, they're trying to find them. They're just squat so tight that you have to touch them. And I've been in that position just a couple of times. We don't have I couldn't imagine if we had as many hunters here as what y'all do in places like that. I could not imagine. The hogs here are already bad enough. I mean, it's horrible. And we got certain areas that we make them worse. And there's a reason why. I don't want a hog that I can catch.
Yeah, well,
I know there's a lot of people who are going to think I'm insane, but I'll put the dogs down and let them run that son of a bitch. And when they get him closed down, I'll pull him off. We'll jump and run him again tomorrow, and I'm just going to push him and push him and push him.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's...
I'm dead serious. We might run him 10 miles today and we might bait him within a mile or two. And then we'll pull him out. And then I'm going to break him and make him run. God damn. I like it. I do. And people are like, what the hell? I'm like, well, and I, like I said, once I started messing with these cur dogs and some of these running hounds and stuff, I was like, well, I want to see what they really got. Because, I'm not saying that my dogs are great by no means, but I got a certain level I want to have. And when I first got going good with these cur dogs and stuff, it was around the time that me and Rodney started hunting together 5 or 6 years ago, or 7, whatever it is, and I had some that were pretty damn good. They were silent, and they would find you a hog, and they had a lot of range to them, blah, blah, blah. But I only had a couple. I want to have where my whole yard is like that. Yeah. And so, therefore, now I'm doing some crazy shit. It's like, well, if I get these young dogs that are a year old, if I get them to stay in there for 5 miles in these mountains and hills, if I got a hog I know that's going to run, and I can get them to stay in there that long, when I come hunt with you, or if I go to Georgia and hunt with Cody, or I go to Texas and hunt with Case or with Rusty, I know for a fact that when I put that dog on the ground, he's going to stay for that long.
Yeah.
But I hope we don't have to. Maybe we get this done real quick. But I want to make sure I got enough dog power there that when I go somewhere, no matter where I go, this little dude's going to do it. And now keep in mind, I do not have many dogs that'll do that. I might have 30 dogs out there, but all 30 of them ain't doing that shit.
Yeah. Well, see, that's honesty, and a lot of people ain't that honest,
Well, there's some of them out there there's some young ones that'll do it right now that's pretty good, but that'll also change from the time they're 1 year to the time they're 2.
Yeah.
That can change for better or for worse.
Trust me, I already heard it. I got another question on that one here in a little bit, but I got to ask this real quick. We kind of got talking about the different areas. Somebody reached out to me because I talked to a couple people. I said, hey, I'm gonna get Nathan on here, Nathan Wright off of Dixie Doggers. Somebody mentioned to me that they seen a picture of him running some dogs on I could be wrong, but on a mountain range. Y'all hunt a lot of mountain type terrain there? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, well, can Nathan kind of cover the... I mean, they want to hear specifically from Nathan. No offense, Mr. Joey, but they want to hear from Nathan what the mountain terrain hunts are like. I don't know exactly how to even ask you that question. I'm not trying to... I don't want to be weird on how I ask it because I just don't know how to ask it. Just can you cover mountain terrain, I guess?
Yeah, well, first thing, you got to know what you're at, what you're doing, and where you're at, and what you can get to and where you can't.
No access.
Yeah, access, neighboring properties, the valid properties you have, and then the way the hogs travel. So the biggest thing with anything, and say like we live in the Baby Mountains. We live in the bottom of the Cumberland Plateau, right at the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. So ours are like half the size of what most of them are in Tennessee. You're going to get 300 to 500 foot elevation change instead of 1,000 or something like that. So it's a little better, but we have more ridges and more hollers, and a lot of our stuff is more bluffs and bowls. So it might be like the head of this holler a mile up, you can't get out of it. It's just a valley that goes all the way and then like a waterfall at the end. So, you need to know where your pigs are moving, because they're going to use the same travel corridors over and over again, traveling through it. And so you kind of want to know where the pigs are going and how to get to them. And then, sometimes you go and be like, well, I know the pigs are moving through this valley. You go put up a camera or something like that. You'd be like, they're moving through here every night, put out some bait or something, however you want to do it. And you can run them. And the biggest thing is just being able to get to them. And then, of course, you're still going to get in a couple situations where the pigs do something different or the dogs do something different and they end up 3 ridges over and you're like never really been in that holler. So, it really just comes down to the style of dog you're hunting. If you got some rough dogs, I wouldn't hunt long range ones in the mountains. I'd hunt them some bitches as short as possible and like do the hunting with bait. Or, like with Rick, it's a lot less. You can sit on the ridge and cast him down to the holler and, just know all the possibilities of where he could go. And then he's like, oh, well, he's in this holler.
Still don't run him that much.
Yeah. This holler in this creek, okay, I know I can get to him, or, well, he's their bay or something like that. I know I can drive down this road and go down this ridge, but then I got to get out at this road and then walk down and, cross these 2 ridges to get in there. I'd say that's probably the biggest difference is just, with flat land, you can guess a lot more.
Yeah.
Whereas with the mountains, you're going to end up in a bind. Your dogs are going to end up in a bind. One of the two, you go and you get dogs a mile deep and, it's the middle of the night and you can't really call nobody. And you're like, well, I'm going to walk in there and get my dog. And, well, that's a mile as the crow flies. If you're not in real good shape or something that.
It's 5 miles of walking, though.
Yeah. If you're not in real good shape or if your dog gets injured or something like that, like, you can get in a bind real easy. So I always like to really do a lot of walk hunting. I like doing a lot of squirrel hunting, a lot of coon hunting or something like that. Go look for hog sign, find some good hog sign. But, well, I'm going to stay out of here for a while or go put some corn out, and then we're going to hog hunt the shit out of it because I done walked everything and got freshened back up on how the pigs are moving through.
Yeah. So, but I do got to ask you this. I guess what a couple of them requested was what kind of dog are you I'm assuming they're hunting probably the same area. Well, I'm not saying your area, but I'm saying the same type of stuff because they really, and I didn't have no experience in it. What kind of dogs are you recommending for, lines wise? I don't really know how to even ask it because I didn't get too into detail about it, you know?
I'd say it come down to what size properties you're hunting. You know, if you got 2,000 acre, if you can hunt a bunch of public land,
probably gonna be public land.
If you got a bunch of public land, you know, that you can run them, and they'll whatever can hunt as much as possible. You know, if you don't like walk hunting, you probably gonna want something that get out there and dry cast dog and let that some bitch go pound them hollers and ridges for you. If you got smaller properties and you're going hunting leases or something like that, then you know you could do walk dogs, do mountain curs, kimmer curs. Yeah. And if you got like where you can drive around, you can rig and stuff like that, which, I mean, rig dogs are good. I'd rather road hunt them. I think they find more than just normal rigging, at least in our experience. I mean, they're closer to the ground or where a track may have been laid, so instead of just smelling one off the thermals, like they might also hit a track. You know, keep the dog in good shape if you have dogs that can handle it.
Yeah.
Not all dogs are built for it.
That's what Tom was talking about when he come and hunted, about the difference in the road and the rigging.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I asked him. I was like, because they hunt backwards than what we hunt. They all start up top and they'll work their way down. We start in the bottom and work our way up here. A lot of stuff.
Shit down here, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. We just we put them on the front of the boat or wherever the hell we're at. Depends on the water levels, to be honest with you.
I'd rather road hunt.
Well,
I like road hunting.
I mean, some of my leases, I'm going to be honest with you, if we get a good rain here, you'll have to put a boat on that lease. If it stays dry long enough, we can take a buggy out there and ride the buggy around. It just depends on the water levels. So, yeah, I guess we would say we start up top. But now, Nathan, you got anything else you want to cover on that? Because I have one wrote down that I got to personally ask your dad real quick.
I'd say probably anything mountain cur based is probably going to get you exactly what you want if you're hunting the mountains. You know, You can do a lot. They're built for it. They're not as long, but they got springs and they can straight up it. And typically, some are going to be those that go and pound the hollers for you if you start them like that, or they'll be walk hunting dogs. So I think either way, you couldn't really go wrong with it.
What lines? You go to that, probably.
I mean, you go, so you go into
or straight camera stuff.
Yeah, you go into camera stuff. Mountain, to me, it's all pretty broad spectrum. I've seen great dogs that do good, or you can get more comp side of things. You go like Nicholson dogs or like street bred dogs or something like that. And, you know, they do good, but you know, a lot of times if somebody's got dogs and they hunt, the dogs are probably good regardless of really how they're bred.
Anything Jake and Lou.
Yeah.
It does good from the kimmer stuff.
Okay.
Or striker breed.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, hey, y'all heard it. I'm just letting y'all know, future ahead of time, I'm going to pull, we're kind of covering Dixie Doggers right here. I'm going to pull Mr. Joey and Mr. Nathan apart, and I'm going to cover that a little bit more into detail with Mr. Nathan at a future date. Maybe one of the listeners sent it to me, and I apologize because I don't remember who it was. But go ahead and send me that picture that you of Mr. Nathan that you took or that you screenshot or whatever. Because he was talking terrain, and I just got to let all the listeners know he's not some stalker. I just didn't understand what kind of terrain he was talking about, but I seen it in the back, and it did look like a mountain terrain.
Went to North Carolina. It depends on the picture, because like we've hunted in big mountains as well, which where we're at.
It looked big.
We're in the foothills, but we have some that are several hundred feet. Like everything here, elevation is 200 to 600 feet everywhere.
Okay.
You know, it's going to change that much in elevation.
Okay. Yeah, but for y'all out there, just reach out to me about it. I'll get into more detail on a future date with Mr. Nathan about that. Now, I'm going to jump into this is a personal question for me because I just listened to the podcast with B.O. Outdoor. I don't know how to pronounce it.
B Outdoors.
B Outdoors.
It's B Outdoors, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I just listened to that one. And something I took out of it was, and I respect the hell out of you for it, and I wish kind of I'm kind of glad I had to figure it out for myself. But you mentioned in there some time, someone starting out new, and you giving them a dog. Hey, you come over to this yard, you take care of these dogs. Blah 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 blah. X Y Z.
Mm-hmm.
Now, from my experience, I want to share my experience real quick. And I'm not nobody. I'm coming up on 2 years, y'all. But I have had my plot litter, and I probably made the mistake because I'm like, oh, you're my buddy. Here, you can have a plot. Kind of like Ellen DeGeneres or Oprah Winfrey. Here, you get a prize. You get a prize. You get a prize. Whatever. And I gave, I was just giving them out, and then they were like, oh well. This ain't working out for me. Now, Mr. Joey, what I listened to in there was you mentioned you come take care of these dogs. You figure out the headache. You figure out how, it is a headache. And it's not a headache if you really love dogs. No, the shit is still a headache, period.
Yeah.
But, you love it, so you're taking care of them. And I don't want people to take offense to it when somebody don't just give you a dog. And Mr. Joey explained that the best way I've ever actually heard it explained. Can you kind of touch base on that? Because I know you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Well, when I think I was about 15 years old, and my uncle, he had a litter of pups, and I wanted one of them pups so bad. And I told him, I was like, well, I'll buy it or whatever. And he was like, no, he said, I'll give it to you. And I was like, oh, okay. He said, but you have to come out here, which I helped him all the time. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't like, oh, I just didn't do nothing. I helped him all the time. But he told me, he said, this whole summer, he said, you come and feed and water every day. You rake all the chain spots. You worm them, you do everything. And he had a fairly good sized yard. There was a couple dozen dogs there. And all these are American Pit Bull Terriers. And so I did that. And at the end of the summer, I got my little dog. And, dude, I'm telling you, I had a male right before that, a little male dog. And I bought him from a guy. And I loved the dog like I thought I did. I thought I loved him more than I actually did. I'll be honest, this is truth, Yeah. So, but I took care of the dog and had a bond with him and all that. But when I got Miss OJ, when I got that little pup, it was different. Because I didn't just hand over a few dollars like, hey, here you go, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not saying that it don't work like that, but I'm just saying I put all that time and effort into it. So I was like, I cannot fail with this dog. This dog is going to work. I had confidence in it. I had confidence in myself because I knew how to handle the dog. Yeah. I knew what they were supposed to look like. I knew when one wasn't feeling well. I knew when one was coming in heat. I knew when a dog was going to try to bite you, or I knew when something was going on. If it had a hot spot or skin irritation, or its foot was messed up, or its ear was hurting it, whatever. I had seen all these things over the years, but that summer while I was there, I did it every single day. I seen even more. And so it was like I did my part to get that pup. Well, years go on, and for a long time, all these dogs on this yard, they were my dogs. My dogs. I bought the first ones, as far as the hog dogs, I got my first ones. I took care of them. I did all that stuff. Nathan was always there helping me. And then when Nate got old enough, it was his chore, to help me with the dogs. Well, when I got hurt, Nate just kept on doing it. And he took care of them. And so I had a guy ask about a dog one day. And I said, let me go ask my son. Nate was 14 years old. And the guy, he's like, why do you have to talk to your son? I said, because he's the one that takes care of them. He puts in his part. They're half his. And it's been that way ever since. Because when you do your part, then you are deserving.
Yes, sir.
And you will appreciate it so much more. There's a lot. When he got pissed off and was aggravated and hated all those dogs, I knew then, I was like, they're his. Because, like you said...
Nathan, how bad was it? God damn.
There was times I had 70 dogs. 70, and I ain't talking about no damn cur dogs out here. I'm talking about everything was hot. If it come off the chain, it's happening.
Oh, shit.
After you get done, like, working all the time in high school and then doing sports or other activities, and you got to come home, and then you got to take care of them, and then, you know, you wake up in the middle of the night, and they're out there fucking killing each other, and you got 3 a.m., and, like, you know, you come into that, and it's like, oh, had a long night dealing with a bunch of shit, and then I got to fix kennels and stuff like that. It's 5 a.m. Shit, I got to get up in 30 minutes so I can get ready for school. And then it's like, well, shit,
and there was a lot of times where it's not like I didn't do anything, because I would help, but I was like, he would start doing something, and I was like, well, do it how you want to do it. Like, if he wanted to build a kennel, build it. He's like, we need some kennels. Okay, let's build them. He's like, well, I was thinking about this. Well, right there tells me you're not thinking the same thing I am. I'm not going to get in your way, because we're going to butt heads. And not just that.
I usually prefer to work alone.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's not just that. It's like, this goes back to the parenting thing. I know enough that he was really mature for his age, so it's like, okay, let him do his own thing, because if I go out here and I'm like, no, we got to do it like this, or I want it a certain way, yes, I did. And there's a lot of things I'm still like that. But at the same time, it's like, you got to give a man his space and his freedom to think on his own and to learn on his own. Just because I tell you how to do it doesn't mean that you're going to learn from me telling you. You got to walk those steps. You got to walk behind those dogs in the woods before you really know your dogs. I can tell you everything that I know about my dogs. Well, not everything, but most of the things. But I cannot teach you what to learn or that you'll know about your dogs.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know what your dogs are going to do. You have to take those steps and walk behind them. So that goes right in correlation with somebody who wants a puppy. They think, well, man, you had a whole litter of plots. Why don't I get one?
Yeah.
Well, what have you done to get one?
Why do you deserve it?
And why are you going to protect what I'm building?
Do you care? Do you respect it?
Are you just going to go catch hogs, or are you going to be a dog man?
Yeah.
And when I say that, there's a lot of people out there that are self-proclaimed dog men. That's not the ones I'm talking about. The real dog men are out there in the world, and they don't even know who they are because other people tell them.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to hear them say, I'm a dog man.
No, that's my buddy that's I go to church with, man. That's how he's like, no social media, don't ever mention my name. And then he'll hear my podcast. I hope he hears this, by the way. He'll hear my podcast and be like, well, I think you should go ahead and say this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, well, what should I ask? He's like, nope, I'm not helping you at all.
Well, that's how this whole podcast thing's got going, because like we were talking about earlier, I would talk to people on the, I guess, if they text me or got my phone number, and the first thing I do, I was like, well, who gave you my number? How'd you get a hold of me? Blah, blah, blah. Like the guy, Josh Neff, I wouldn't even talk to him. I was like, dude, I'm not telling you nothing. I worked and did all this. You're not getting my dogs. And now he's one of my best friends, and now I get dogs from him. But I was that guy that was like, no, I'm not doing all this. If you go back and look on social media, you're not going to find out nothing about me before this whole Dixie Doggers podcast and stuff really kicked off, except for the Dog Terriers.
Yeah.
And I realized I was being one of those old bastards. I was like, well, I do know a lot of stuff, and I can help people, so why don't I?
Yeah, that's what blows my mind, though, and I got to cover this, is you hear 95% of them old-timers complain, oh, them damn kids don't want to get out in the woods anymore.
Well,
I get it. Yeah, why? You're constantly running them off properties. I can't tell you how many times we've been on our own deer lease after deer season running hog dogs, and they're like, yo, next year, gosh damn it, you're going to start running deer off this early. You know, and I'm like, well, you're really not intelligent when it comes to deer, but I'm not going to argue with you. But those are the same exact people that will sit there and talk the most shit about kids sitting on tablets and iPad or whatever the hell they got nowadays. Shit, I don't even know if we got a TV hooked up at our house. I mean, we're not broke, but shit, we don't even care to watch TV. We're outside in the woods, or I'm doing this little podcast thing on you know, my part-time area.
Yeah, and there's still a lot of guys out there like that, but I do feel like it's becoming better because I personally know, I couldn't tell you how many guys that would never be interested in doing a podcast or being on social media or going to a bay pen or any kind of event, and now they're slowly starting to show up more and more. And I get why most of the guys are like that, because of the things that have happened in the past. Well, that's the past. Things have changed. Some things are always going to be the same. You're going to have to deal with people trespassing or trying to go behind you, and people talking trash about you. Yeah, they're going to backdoor you, they're going to backstab you and do all that stuff. It's going to happen. Yeah. But not everybody's going to do it. And so, I mean, are you going to, if you've got 10 people and one of them does you dirty, well, the other 9 have to pay for that? Is that right? I don't see that, you know? And like you said, here I was complaining about these guys that were trying to do something, and I'm like, I realized, like, I am the problem. Like, I'm an issue. Damn, I hate you saying that. It's, fuck. But I mean, that's the reality of it, man. Like, for real, it's like most of the guys that come hunt with us.
I've never heard nothing negative. I haven't.
Well, no, yeah, I mean, you're not going to. If they do, it's they're lying.
I've heard it's always a great ass time.
Well, everybody that comes with us, a lot of them are still new to it. In fact, when I say new, like they've been doing it for a few years, or they just want to come hang out. Like, it's not a huge, serious deal. Yeah. It's not about catching a bunch of hogs. It's about fellowship, talking dogs. We have done quite a bit of dog training. Like, we had a couple boys bring young dogs, and we're like, well, hell, we got a group of pigs coming in up here at this lease. We'll go up here and take your pups and get them started. And they're like, what? We're like, yeah, bring your pups. We'll go get them started for you. And then we've had guys that their dogs didn't want to cast. I'm like, okay, well, let's put them with one of our cast dogs. And look, man, we run the hell out of them all night long. Mason Hoy, he has one. Oh boy, he's got a Mount Cur. That is, I'm a bad dude. I love that dog. Well, the dog would not cast. Like, he would hunt. If he hit a trail or a track, he would go on, but he just didn't want to go out very far. I think the set was here 2 nights. Hey, Mason.
I don't think we're having nights. 2 or 3.
Anyway, so before he left, I mean, his dog was hunting out 800 plus.
Yeah.
And he was like, damn. And then we got on a couple different races. I mean, his dog's going 1.5 miles, 2 miles. He was like, damn. And all it is putting them, you know, with a dog that'll do that. Then the dog breaks off by itself and goes and does it by itself. Just giving that dog that confidence and putting it in the right scenario at the right time. And so it's not all about, well, let's go kill this big giant hog and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
If that's what you're looking for, that's fine. We can do that if that's what you want to do. But, you know, it's not going to be the same as what the everyday deal is of working dogs with us.
Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah. Now, man, I've loved this, Mr. Joey and Nathan. Thank y'all, man. I believe we're taking a big step together. I do. I'm not, like I said, I'm not one of those sensitive people, but I'm saying I believe we're taking a big step by, you know, putting each other on podcasts and letting people know that unity is a big thing. We all really kind of got to stand together. There's no animosity here at all, y'all. Like I say, anybody asks any questions regarding Dixie Doggers, I'll send you where to look it up. I'm going to even tell them, I think I might know more about their own podcast than they probably do.
Yeah, you probably do.
We're coming to the end, so we gotta. I'm bringing Mr. Joey on and Mr. Nathan on again for sure. They're going to be separate next time they come on. I do have, of course, a final question that I'd like to ask them. But before that, Mr. Joey, I want you to give your shout-outs, and Mr. Nathan, I want you to give your shout-outs to whoever y'all would like to.
All right, Nate, go ahead.
Well, first of all, just to everyone who listens and supports and contributes and tries to help with anything in the community. I'd have to list off Boys and Broads, Uncle Pat, hog-dog.com circuit, Animal Housing Solutions, Hounds, Southern Cross, Hardcore, all those companies and men really contribute. They do a lot more action than just talking.
Yep.
And so,
Main man too, Mr. Phil.
Yeah. Mr. Phil Wilson as well. He also contributes, put his money where his mouth is.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And for me, it would be, first off, the good Lord, for letting us be here to do this. Then secondly, I'm not going to say any names. What I'm going to say is, without people picking up dogs off the side of the road, going to the pound, getting these bulldogs, people getting dogs that they should not have, people getting dogs that they love and they need and they want, people spending all their money on tracking systems that they probably should have put in the S&P 500, people spending all their time in the woods chasing these damn dogs. That's who I want to give a shout out to, no matter where you're at, no matter what kind it is.
I love it. I do. Y'all heard it, man. Like I said, y'all feel free. Dixie Doggers Podcast. I'm sure everybody listening to this listens to them as well. If y'all have any questions and you might be intimidated by Mr. Joey or Mr. Nathan because they're big up there in the podcast world, reach out to me. I'll tell you where to go listen for some information. I know a lot of the podcast. I do. I'm tooting my own horn now at this point on it. I will argue with anybody. Literally, if you want to compete against me for who knows more information regarding that podcast, feel free to reach out because I'll tell you right now, I'll probably win.
I think there's one guy that's probably gonna say he's different.
Who's that?
I really do. I feel like he's going to be like, no, I know more.
Who?
Or just as much. And I'm not going to say no names because he's going to be listening.
Is his initials BS by chance?
Yeah,
I know exactly who it is. No, I'll do it all day long. He can reach out to me. I know. And BS stands yeah.
Yeah, it's who it is.
Yeah, see, I already knew. That's how well I know this daggone podcast. So try to...
We need to have a head-to-head. We'll do a call-in. Y'all can go ahead.
Come on, shit. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Some
That's
trivia.
Cool, man. Listen, that's why I keep doing it. Because for a while it was... You can ask Nate. I was like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. And then it fell into the position where it's like when you start getting people who send you messages, like I said, from other countries, other states, just other walks of life. People that I've had people message me and they say, hey, can I have your number? I want to talk to you. Sure. Give them my number. They call me or I'll call them. Now, for the guys out there in the world that know me, like my guys I'm associated with all the time, I'm not going to answer the phone hardly, and y'all know that. So don't take offense to it. But like say, I had a woman from Canada that was against hunting. She now has a dog.
Oh shit! God damn.
That makes a whole different deal. It's like so now it's like okay, so I made a difference. I made a difference myself. So if nothing else came of it, that one thing was a difference in the world. But not just then. Then it got to where it was like, hey, man, I'm driving a tractor all day long. I listen to y'all. Well, that's cool, Got one the other day. Guy's like, man, I ain't hunted in 30 years. I ain't hunted since I was a kid. He said, I started back hunting. One message last week, he was like, I used to hunt. I don't even hunt. He said, I ain't hunted in years. Said,
I just listened to it.
I listen to y'all every day, or, while I'm running these tractors and stuff.
Yeah.
And that was just recently. And that's what I told him. I said, well, we've got some new ones coming out. I said, we got another podcast now talking about dogs. I said, there's several other podcasts out there. So you don't have to listen to the same one over and over. I said that, we need to grow.
Mm-hmm.
But let's do it. Let's do it tastefully.
Within reason. Don't be saying that, Mr. Joey, because you know how that shit will turn out.
Oh, I already know. Yeah, that's what I said. You got to do it tastefully. You got to do it with it. You got to have a plan. Because there's always negativity.
Yeah.
And the thing about negativity is it is probably the most addictive thing that's out there. Because if you got one person in a room of 5 and they all stay there all the time, that one negative person will become 2, and then it become 3. And
brings the whole crowd down.
It does, and it can really do that. Also, keep your emotions and feelings in check when you're dealing with the public, when you're at events and stuff. I've lost my temper, I've lost my cool. And on social media and stuff like that, you gotta keep yourself together. Try to be composed all you can. And if it don't work for you, here's how you handle that. When somebody's talking about something, you say, I understand. Simple.
Yes, sir.
You don't have to argue with them. You don't have to tell them they're wrong, or that they're a dumbass, or that their mama should have swallowed them, or nothing. You can just say, I understand.
Better half of you went down the shower drain? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know. But yeah, all right, so final question, y'all. And of course, I'm getting y'all back on here, or else I'd run this damn thing for 4 hours, trust me. But
I got you.
Final question. I told y'all, I'm not going to lie to y'all. Every person I get on here, I tell them ahead of time because I've caught a few people off guard. And
Nate first.
Mr. Nate, you want to tell me your favorite dog of all time? Like I tell everybody, I do not want to hear the best dog you've had. I don't want to hear it doesn't have to be a hog dog. It don't have to be a duck dog. It don't have to be a hunt dog. I want to hear your favorite dog of all time.
All right. So when I was a kid, I had this basset hound named Pete.
God damn, I know where this is going already.
Yes. And Pete was an interesting dog, mainly because he was lazy as fuck, and he didn't do much. But you'd get out there in the yard, he would just, as most basset hounds, just be sleeping somewhere. He might be under the truck, in the yard, just randomly be walking and be like, where the hell's Pete? Just walking around the yard, find Pete. All right, we're going to do something. He might run a rabbit. He might tree a squirrel. I catch a coon in a live trap. I turn it loose. He'd go run it, and he'd tree it, and I'd shoot coons out to him. And I'd be like 8, 9, 10 years old. And I don't know. I just had a lot of fun with that dog. He was super goofy, dumber than a box of shit, and not. What are you talking about?
Him and Gordy.
I thought that was different, Basset.
No, that's the same one. That's when we first got him.
I was real little then. I don't remember him. I don't remember doing it.
I didn't know if you remember when he chased.
But I remember one time
chasing Gordy.
I remember one time I come out in the yard.
I can just picture the big ass ears right now.
I have a picture of me and this basset hound with a coon when I was like 8 years old. And it's like I turned this coon loose and it ran through the woods, and I turned the dog loose, and he went and treated. And me, Dad, and my Uncle Mikey, because the coon ran out almost on the road.
Mikey brought them little hound pups.
Yeah, he brought some puppies over there.
And the hound dogs wouldn't treat it, but that basset hound went out there and treated.
Oh yeah,
that's what it was.
It's because he didn't really jump on the tree. Once he got up there, he just stood. He's really short-legged. But I'm talking about, he would nail the coon. He would fight one like hell.
He is.
We let him and that Yorkie kill one time.
Yeah, my wife's Yorkie.
God.
Yeah. But I come out in the yard, and I seen this little slipper, like the little bobs or whatever. They got like a little white little girl shoe.
Oh,
yeah. And they got just like the little white laces.
Yeah.
Well, I seen that shoe, and I seen Pete chewing on it. And I didn't think nothing about it. I was like, the dog's chewing on the shoe. Guess he's gonna tear it up. I don't know. I'm a kid. Well, a few days later go by, and I see something out in the yard again, and I'm like, what is this? And it was like, I go over there, and it is this turd, and it is the biggest dog turd I think I've ever seen in my life. And what it is about 3/4 of this shoe, and I'm talking about like somebody rolled it up, like long ways, and got it conformed. And this dog swallowed about 3/4 to half of this shoe and shit it out. And I could not, cause, I could not fathom that, and I still think about how bad that had to hurt that dog. But I was like, next time I see a dog chewing on something, I'm taking it from him. That was a valuable lesson. I was like, my dog, that can't be good for him. That can't be good. I was like, he ate that whole shoe, or ate half of it, at least, and shit it out whole. I was pretty impressed with that.
God damn,
that's probably one of my favorite dogs.
And that was, y'all wreaked havoc for several years. Nathan and that dog, man, it was something. I had a lot of good memories watching him. And my wife's Yorkie was right in the middle of it.
Is he still alive, or?
No. The Yorkie.
I think the Yorkie got stolen.
He got stolen. Then I went up there and got him, and then we found him dead in a ditch.
Oh,
so
my goodness.
I think the guy killed the dog, and threw him out because he kept saying, "Your dog comes up to my house." I was like, I heard him calling the dog. That's how I found the dog.
Oh my gosh,
man. Yeah, I was like, where's the dog going? He stayed in the yard anyway. It wasn't a teacup Yorkie. It was a standard size. And this dog was game. I got pictures and videos of this dog hanging on a coon. I've got it pulled up in the tree. And I'm talking about, he would sit there and hang for 30 minutes, just hanging like a bulldog.
Yeah.
And the basset hound would do it. He couldn't do it that long, but he would hang on all he could. Old Pete. Pete was a bad dude.
Gosh, damn.
I found hogs with that dog.
Fuck.
I had a little training pen, like I said, years ago, and I'd get him started. I'd get him started with Nathan's basset hound. Well, I missed that old dog. He was something. But,
well,
that's a good one.
Mr. Joey, we got to hear yours.
It's Lily and Diane.
You can't have two, though.
No, that's my dogs have full names.
Oh, okay.
I ain't like y'all. I'm telling you.
Hey, no. My Finley dog is Adams's Finley Luann. So,
okay. Well, all mine, I have all my dogs have middle names and stuff.
Mine
it's
too.
Stupid, but
yeah.
I do it. But no, her name was Lily. The first bay pen I ever went to. Clay Austin and all of us went over there to Mississippi. And my wife, she went with me. It was in December. It was December the 10th, 2008, I believe it was. And she wanted to go because my birthday was December 12th. And so I kind of conned her into that whole deal, Well, we go over there, and I had just started going out on these longer trips, I'd be gone overnight to a hunting camp or something. And me and Kelly my wife, we were talking about getting her a dog to keep in the house. And so there was a guy there, his name was Terry Akers, and he had some cur dogs, and then he had a litter of little bulldog puppies. And he had a buckskin, it looked like a blackmouth cur, had a little mask on it. And dude, I wanted that puppy so bad. I was like, this is the one right here. Well, that little red dog kept coming out and grabbing my pants leg. And I done took my foot and pushed her off of me 3 or 4 times. And she come right back. Anyway, I told the guy, I said, well, let me go in here and hang out for a little bit. And I said, before we leave, I'll come back and get these pups. Or get this puppy. And he said, okay. Well, when I started walking off, that little red dog kept following me. He said, I think that's the one that wants you. I said, I really don't want a female. And then when we came back, he opened the little thing they were in, and all the puppies were out. They were kind of milling around playing, and she sat on my foot for 30 minutes while I talked to that man. And I got that big old buckskin dog. And when I walked off, she took every little step. Now, keep in mind, 6 weeks old, you know. And I turned around and I handed him that buckskin dog back. I said, I believe you're right. And so went from there with it, brought her home. Hands down, one of the smartest dogs I've ever owned. Best dog. Whether it didn't matter, and I did use her for a catch dog. I used her to find hogs. I used her to find cows. We took her. I won. I couldn't tell you how many different events with that dog. Got her CGC papers and all that stuff done. That way, I got money taken off my homeowner's insurance. I got a better rate because I had a guard dog.
Gosh, dang.
Oh yeah, well, she was an American Pit Bull Terrier at that.
Yeah.
So normally you wouldn't even get homeowners insurance, you know. But
I didn't
so we
know
did all
that
that. At 2 years old, we did a full 100-yard blind retrieve on a duck with a pit bull.
God damn it, Joe. You had to fucking mention that shit, huh?
That is a fact. I said, I just want to see if she'll do it. Nathan was there. I promise you, like,
God
damn.
damn.
I had the dog checking traps with me, and he shot the duck. And when we come over there, he's like, let's see if she'll go find the duck.
Yeah, she wasn't even there at all. I was like, I called her over there, sent her by hand. She got out there, I whistled, made her take a right. She went out there, then she finally winded it, went on out, picked it up, and come back. Softest mouth I've seen.
That's what I was about to. That's literally my next question. I was gonna say, she eat the shit out of it or what?
No, didn't even ruffle the feathers.
God damn.
Took her from there. Went to the fairgrounds. They had an exhibition out there. That's how I met Yohani Gomez. He was a Schützen trainer, personal protection trainer for dogs and stuff. And the lady that was there, she knew me, which we had won several of the weight pull titles and different things like that. Also, ADBA shows, best in shows, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she told me, she said, well, let your dog go up there and you show them how her recall and all that stuff is. And the guy told me, he's like, bring her up, man, we'll do it. And I was nervous, so I was like, man, in front of all these people, I don't know about all this. And so he's out there in a full suit, got his bike sleeve on, and so I just told her to go. Actually, all I did was snap my finger. She went, I clapped my hands, she backed out. She came and sat down. He's like, hold on a minute. He said, don't leave after the show. He said, I want to talk to you. And we went from there. We went wide open with it for a while. Like, we were going to doing exhibitions and all kinds of stuff. We actually caught people right here in our county for law enforcement,
Gosh damn.
Yeah. We've done ADC work with her. I guess that's what you call it. Nuisance removal. You remember we've done it downtown. And I told my pigs, like, somebody had pigs and that got out and they were like, call Joey and them, they'll go do it. I was like, hell yeah, we'll go do it.
God.
And they were like, well, how are you going to do it? I said, I'm going to do it with a dog. I was like, what kind of dog? It's a bulldog. and then they had a bunch of stray dogs terrorizing the town, and you could use your imagination.
Yeah, I know where you're going at with that.
We could probably take care of it. Well, we didn't do that. But I would have, she would have. But not just that, man. Like, she was really a good loyal dog. Never showed any aggression to any person that I know of, unless I told her to. And man, she stayed in the house. But I hunted her. She caught hogs. Couldn't ask for anything better. Had the best handle I've ever seen. That's just my best dog. And not, like I said, not the best hunting dog, but she's just the best dog that I've ever had.
I love that.
She died. It's been going 3 years now?
Yeah, it should be.
I think it's about 3 years now she passed. She was 15 when she died.
Well, she lived a damn good life. 15?
I don't see how she stayed alive. She tore the bumper. She got ran over by a police car. They were having a chase. She come around the corner, and she ran out in the road, and he hit her and rolled her. She got up, and it's that front plastic valance, the front bumper.
Yeah.
She had that zombie tore off of the car. She broke her. That's the first canine she broke.
God.
And then, some of the things she tore up. I bought a fairly new Duramax, big GMC Duramax 2500 HD, leather, nice. I get out and I'm checking property. We had some pigs in a trap. She could see it. I wouldn't let her out of the truck. She takes the whole seat and the dash out, center console. She decides to help me with that. Demolishes my truck.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Leather too and all, huh?
Absolute asshole. I mean, just a total bitch all the time. It was like, well, what about the first time we went to the bait pen over there? I said, you know what? We went to Hickory Crossings the first time. I said, let's stop and check this trailer. I had a trailer with a dog box. I said, let's stop and check this trailer, make sure everything's good on it before we get on the road real good. We'd been about 20 minutes from home. I pulled over, and I looked back, and there's a dog running down the side of the interstate. Now, this is on the interstate.
What the fuck?
I said, what the fuck? I looked, I said, damn, that's a bulldog. I said, that's my dog.
You're fucking with me.
No, I'm dead serious, and we were almost to Summiton.
That was not the first time she had done that.
No, so we were on a trip, so I said, what in the fuck are you doing? I said, and I looked at her,
so happy.
I said, get back where you were at. She jumps in the back of the truck, and the truck is full of stuff, just mounted over.
Yeah.
She wheels through there like a rat, gets up under the toolbox in a little corner, sticks her head out, looks at me. I said, you dirty bitch. She had been hiding in that truck, and so what happened is when I first go to pull over,
yeah,
she jumped out because Kelly and them was behind us, and she said, I seen her jump out of the truck. There's a dog come out of the truck. I said, that dirty son of a bitch. Like, if you were leaving, she's going with you.
It was driving up the hill. Like, you come out of our driveway, and you immediately start going up the hill. And we're going up the hill, and we get to the top of the hill, and here comes Lily across the windshield, slides off the windshield, hits the roof, and Dad locks it up. He's like, what the hell? And she's like looking at us on the hood.
Remember, she rode on that ranch hand all the time.
Yeah.
I had the biggest ranch hand you could get. We called it front porch.
She hit under the Ranger one day, and we got out at the gas station, and it was like, turned around, he's getting gas, and Lily's like, what's up? It's like, oh.
It was all the time. She was smart. Boy, she was smart. I finally just let her run around. I was like, look, because I tried to keep her on chains. I tried to keep her in a kennel. But, she really was more of a house dog.
The bond-wise, she just ride with you everywhere, or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I say that was my girl, I mean that with everything I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There's a guy named Eric Garrett, and we were hunting this spot, and we had sent, I bet you 8 or 10 dogs down to the creek, and they had all went down through there. First time I ever seen a hog squat, very first time. He was like, man, we just ain't getting nothing going. I said, I know. He said, well, I hear all about this red cur, because I called her a red cur dog. Everybody said, what is she? I said, that's just an old red cur dog. She's a little game dog. She's 43 pounds in healthy weight,
Yeah.
And he said, turn her loose. I said, well, she's going to go fight. Well, I guarantee you. She went down there 250 yards, literally followed the tracks of all the other dogs, and within, 2 minutes, had a hog caught.
God.
Literally and what happened is that hog was in the middle of the creek, standing between 2 big rocks, standing in water. And all these other dogs, Eric had some hounds, and hound and cur crosses. And they had been all around it. All our cur dogs have been around, our jags, everything. They done went all around it. That old bulldog went down there and found it. I said, hell yeah. I retired her, I don't know, a couple of different times, but she, I always figured she would have met her end in the woods, and there was quite a few times she got very close, but she wound up just old age got her.
Man, I wish that would have happened to my Sabine dog, but it is what it is. Man, that's a badass story. That's all I gotta say. I love that one, Mr. Joey. Now, I'm sorry, y'all. We're cutting it.
No, we're good. Yeah, that's good.
Do y'all have anything else y'all like to mention?
No, I don't. Nothing that comes to mind.
Makes it good.
All right, y'all. Hey, guys, listeners and y'all, I want to let everybody know that we are going to have both of them on individually, so feel free to reach out to me again with the questions. If it's going to be related to some picture, send that shit to me ahead of time so I can actually know what to ask them. But other than that, man, I appreciate y'all. I cannot wait until next time. We're going to get into some more details. But that's all I got.
No, that's good, man. We appreciate you having us on. And like I said, if we're going to do it again, if like you said, if listeners got questions or something like that, get in as in-depth as you want to.
Yes, both sides, by the way. Hey, message them, message me. I don't care. And they
don't message me. Hit me with a surprise. I want you to catch me.
Okay. Yeah. Get it.
Message me.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Message Nathan.
We can get in genetics, breedings, whatever. If I don't know it, I'll know somebody who does.
Yeah. We're gonna. By the way, with on my side as well, these next ones with these guys. I plan on bringing everybody back, and what I'm doing is I want you to make me learn something. Is what I'm getting at. I want to be asking questions that I have no idea what I'm going into. Like.
Yeah.
So get me into some questions that are just going to blow my mind. I mean, I could ask all day long, hey, what line of dog should I run for a hog that runs 5 miles? I could do that all day. But I'm saying let's get into details. Let's get into lines. Let's get into medical treatment. Let's get into everything. So, but with that being said, y'all, I don't want to hold y'all up too much longer. I'm going to reach out to you, Nathan, and get everything scheduled.
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
If that sounds good with y'all, I'm good. I appreciate y'all. Thank you again. Dixie Doggers Podcast, y'all. Listen to them.
Same thing with Tusky and Tails. Listen to them. So if you're listening to this, you're listening to it. And if you don't, I'll pull your hair out.
All right, y'all. We'll talk to y'all later. Yes, sir.
Thank you, buddy. Bye-bye.